Lin Shi thought for a moment, then said, "Let's take her back to the apartment. She's just dizzy from starvation. If we go to the hospital and they see the abuse marks on Qin Yi's body, it'll be hard to explain." Lin Shi quickly cleaned up Qin Dazhuang's yard, wiping away any traces. He also took some items from the house to make it look like the owner had packed up and left. Afterward, he and Qin Shuang escorted Qin Ye out of the village, avoiding the locals. Not long after Lin Shi left, Qin Dagong returned. He went straight to Qin Dazhuang's yard to check on today's transaction. However, the courtyard gate was shut tight. No matter how hard he knocked, no one answered. This gave him a bad feeling. He wasn't worried about his older brother being in danger. Instead, he aggressively muttered, "Damn it! Did she take the money and run without giving me my cut?" Qin Dagong knocked again. Still no answer. He had no choice but to storm back home. Qin Shuang brought Qin Ye back to the apartment and cooked her a bowl of nutritious porridge. Qin Ye hadn't eaten in 3 days. Her fainting was mostly due to hunger. Lin Shi remembered he still had quite a few medical supplies in his spatial dimension, so he took out an 4 bag of glucose and set it up for Qin Ye. Afterward, Lin Shi went out. Thanks to Qin Shuang's care, Qin Ye had recovered a lot of her strength by the next day. Seeing that Lin Shi wasn't home, Qin Ye curiously asked Qin Shuang, "Qin Shuang, what's the relationship between you and Lin Shi?" Qin Shuang froze for a moment, her eyes sparkling as she said, "He is the most important person to me." This answer made Qin Ye mistakenly think they were in love. A hint of disappointment flashed in her eyes, but she quickly smiled. "That's wonderful. With Lin Shi around, he'll definitely protect you well from now on." "Yeah, and I'll protect him too," Qin Shuang whispered, lowering her head. In Qin Ye's eyes, this was just young love. "I really envy you guys at this age, daring to love and hate so freely. You don't know this, but when I first met Lin Shi, he was so cold. Back then, he was asking around the village about your identity. If I hadn't told him I knew you were my cousin, he wouldn't have even paid attention to me. Knowing he was your friend, I led him to your house." Qin Ye recounted how she met Lin Shi. "If it weren't for you two this time, I would have been ruined. Thank you so much, Xiao Shuang." "It's nothing. Cousin, Lin Shi told me you came back this time because of me. I dragged you into this," Qin Shuang replied. "I really envy you, having a boy like an angel appear by your side." Qin Ye teared up. From now on, she was all alone again. Qin Shuang looked toward the door. Lin Shi had left after giving a single instruction. "You'll find someone to protect you too, cousin." "Yeah." Since there was an outsider in the apartment, Lin Shi didn't stick around. After saying goodbye to Qin Shuang, he headed to the safe zone he had set up earlier, Wulong Village. If history hadn't changed, the fat Taoist priest who once gave him the health cultivation manual would have built his Taoist temple behind the mountain of Wulong Village by now. And right around this time, he would be having quite a few conflicts with the villagers. Lin Shi drove to the outskirts of Wulong Village. It was even more remote than Chuki Village. One was in the western suburbs, the other in the south. In his past life, the villagers of Wulong Village had fought him to take over his safe house right before the apocalypse. In the end, Lin Shi slaughtered them all. Now, seeing these people again, Lin Shi felt like a lifetime had passed. Wulong Village lacked young people and children. It was mostly the elderly. Yet, a village full of old people was rotten to the core. Not a single one of them was decent. Because there were so many elderly people and the children were too young, even in a peaceful society, the police couldn't just arrest them. "Hey kid, who are you looking for?" An old man in his 60s saw Lin Shi walking straight into the village and stepped up to stop him. "Just looking around," Lin Shi replied. "We don't welcome outsiders here. Get lost." The old man waved his hand to shoo him away, but when he looked up, the young man was gone. The old man spun around, only to realize Lin Shi had somehow slipped past him. "Hey, stop right there. Didn't you hear me?" The old man tried to chase after him, but in the blink of an eye, Lin Shi had already reached the end of the village. At this moment, a crowd of villagers was blocking the road to the temple, surrounding a car. Sitting inside the car was the fat Taoist priest from whom Lin Shi had bought land before the apocalypse. Next to him in the passenger seat was a younger man in Taoist robes, about 20 years old. A wrinkled old man with a fierce glare stood in front of the car, smashing a bamboo stick hard against the hood. With a dull thud, a dent appeared on the car. You damn fatty. You got the cops to arrest my son today. If you've got the guts, arrest all of us. Come out here. Get out. Get out. The other old men and women joined in the shouting. They used bamboo sticks, wooden clubs, and rocks to smash the fat Taoist car. The whole vehicle shook violently. The rearview mirror was shattered by an old woman throwing a wooden club. The young Taoist had never seen anything like this and anxiously asked, "Martial uncle, what's going on?" The fat Taoist kept a straight face, but seeing the villagers, he couldn't stay calm. He gritted his teeth and said, "Just a bunch of country bumpkins. Why are they so angry?" The young Taoist, Qin, had come on his master's orders to find this martial uncle he hadn't seen in years. They had just met an hour ago. Qin couldn't understand what his uncle had done to get blocked by a mob of old people. "It's a long story. I'll tell you later." The fat Taoist looked grim. He had been fighting with these villagers for 2 years. He thought this mountain had great feng shui for building a new temple, but he never expected the locals living on this prime land to be such unreasonable thugs. Ever since the temple was built, he hadn't had a day of peace. The villagers constantly came to cause trouble. At first, the fat Taoist thought they just wanted money, so he tried to pay them off. Unexpectedly, these hicks took a mile when given an inch and kept harassing him. Not only did they drive away his worshippers, but they also frequently sneaked into the temple to vandalize it, cutting power lines or breaking water pipes. The fat Taoist was so furious he had to install security cameras all around the temple. This morning, the temple's water supply was sabotaged again. The fat Taoist checked the cameras and was so furious he called the police. The cops quickly came to the village, arrested the vandals, and locked them up at the station. He thought this would finally quiet the villagers down. Coincidentally, the fat Taoist received a call from his martial nephew at noon and went down the mountain to pick him up. On the way back, they were blocked by this mob. Seeing that the fat Taoist still refused to get out, the old man who had just smashed the hood turned to the others and shouted, "Everyone, this damn fatty won't come out. Let's just push his car off." Instantly, the crowd swarmed the car. Even though they were elderly, these villagers did heavy manual labor all the time. Despite their age, their physical strength far surpassed that of hot-headed city youths. There was even a 78-year-old woman who regularly went up the mountain and carried back 2 heavy loads of firewood by herself. With their sheer numbers, the old men and women pushed with all their might and actually managed to move the car. Below the mountain road was a deep ravine. If they fell, the consequences would be disastrous. Seeing the car about to be pushed off the edge, Qin panicked. "Martial uncle, the car is going to fall." The fat Taoist was driven mad by these people. He rolled down the window and roared, "Let go of my car right now." Qin was stunned to hear his uncle curse. "Martial uncle, why are you swearing?" The villagers outside saw the window roll down and thought he was begging for mercy. "Now you want to beg? Too late, you damn fatty. Go to hell. Once you're dead, that Taoist temple belongs to our village." The eyes of the other elderly villagers were filled with greed and malice. Qin had never witnessed such brutality and was too terrified to speak. The car was slowly pushed off the road, teetering right on the edge of the cliff. "Get out." The fat Taoist gritted his teeth. Instead of hitting the gas, he shoved Qin hard. Qin snapped out of it and unbuckled his seatbelt, but a villager immediately blocked his door, preventing him from opening it. Seeing his nephew's slow reaction, the fat Taoist yelled, "Move." As soon as Qin dodged, the fat Taoist swiftly slipped out of the driver's seat and kicked the car door hard. The villager blocking the door let out a grunt and fell to the ground. The door swung open, and the fat Taoist quickly jumped out, pulling Qin along with him. A second later, the car tilted over the edge, made a loud crashing sound, and plummeted into the ravine. The villager who had been knocked down by the door started screaming, "He hit me! The Taoist hit me!" Qin was terrified. He thought he was just running an errand for his master to visit his uncle's new temple, not risking his life. He pointed at the seemingly frail but actually ruthless old people and angrily said, "You were trying to commit murder just now." An old woman panted and sneered, "Murder? Are you dead? Didn't your car fall off because you couldn't drive properly?" An old man gave a wicked, wrinkled smile, looking utterly repulsive. "We clearly just wanted you to pay up, but not only did you refuse, you even hit someone. We all saw it. That's right. There are no cameras here. You think you can trick us? The other old folks chimed in. You hit someone, and now you want to talk compensation? If you don't pay up today, don't even think about leaving. The car fell down the mountain, and you guys fall down too. Makes perfect sense, right? A few old folks picked up rocks and sticks again. Some approached the fat Taoist and Chin Ching with bamboo poles. The fat Taoist clenched his fists, on the verge of exploding. Did these old geezers really think he didn't dare hit them? That he wouldn't fight back? Even if he ended up in the police station today, he was going to teach these disrespectful old fools a lesson. Chin Ching held back the furious fat Taoist. Martial uncle, don't be rash. There are too many of them. We're no match. We can't do this. It's against the rules. They're pushing us too far. I'll fight them to the death. Worst case, we all die together. The fat Taoist's face was flushed red with rage, his eyes bloodshot. Chin Ching was utterly shocked. His master always said his fat uncle was the most good-natured disciple of their grandmaster. How did he end up like this? Chin Ching yelled at the villagers, "Don't push us too far." But the villagers wouldn't listen. The old man leading them said, "If you don't want to make a big deal out of this, fine. Pay up. Yeah, pay up. Look at Old Lee. You knocked him out." Old Lee, how are you?" Old Lee, who had just been knocked down by the door, was now lying motionless on the ground with his head tilted. The fat Taoist knew they were trying to extort him again. His expression shifted, and ultimately, he held back from beating up a bunch of old people. "Let me tell you, you started this today? I'll give you 2,000 right now. Take it and get lost." He said he'd settle it with money, but in his heart, he was already planning to abandon the mountain temple. He really couldn't take it anymore. 2,000? Are you dismissing beggars? 50,000, and then we're done. Hearing that the fat Taoist was willing to pay, the old villagers immediately showed their greed. "Don't hold me back. You guys are pushing it." The fat Taoist gritted his teeth. "We're all old here. 2,000 isn't even enough for a hospital visit. 40,000, not a penny less." The crowd of old folks started haggling with the fat Taoist. Just then, a voice rang out from outside the crowd. "Compensation for what? This old guy is perfectly fine." The villagers immediately turned around and glared. "Who's that? Minding other people's business." Lin Shi walked step by step toward Old Lee, who was pretending to be unconscious. Seeing Old Lee lying on the ground, a mocking smile tugged at the corner of Lin Shi's mouth. Then, he stomped hard on Old Lee's limp hand. "Ah!" A miserable shriek echoed. Old Lee shot up, clutching his hand and screaming. "Look, he's awake, isn't he?" Lin Shi said to the dumbfounded villagers. Lin Shi stepped forward and delivered another kick to Old Lee. Seeing the furious villagers about to turn their aggression on him, Lin Shi waved his phone. "You just pushed someone's car off the cliff. Now I'm demanding compensation. If you don't want to pay, get lost." After saying that, his expression turned ice cold. The overwhelming aura of a Tier 4 evolver erupted. The old villagers, who were just about to argue or lie, were choked by Lin Shi's sheer presence. Their arrogance vanished without a trace. They exchanged glances, realized their plan had failed, and walked away in resentment. Old Lee, who had just been kicked by Lin Shi, struggled to his feet. Clutching his hand, he glared venomously at Lin Shi. You. Old Lee had lived his whole life and never met anyone like Lin Shi. When others saw an old person fall, wouldn't they rush over to check? This brat was different. He just stomped right on him. He was kicked flying before he could even react. Old Lee was so angry he couldn't speak. Ugh, you just wait. Today, they had only brought the elderly to extort the fat Taoist. Seeing that Lin Shi wasn't someone to mess with, Old Lee planned to wait for him at the bottom of the mountain and beat the crap out of this kid. Lin Shi watched the villagers walk away, his eyes calm. He wasn't going to build any safe house in this village anymore, nor would he bother arguing with these hicks. As long as they didn't have a death wish, they might even live longer than they did in the last timeline once the apocalypse hit. But there are always stubborn people who don't know when they're beaten. Even if Lin Shi didn't strike first, someone would always come looking for death. "Young man, thank you so much." Seeing the villagers gone, the fat Taoist and his nephew Chin Ching hurried over to thank him. "If you hadn't stepped in, I would have been beaten to a pulp today." After saying that, the fat Taoist looked at Lin Shi with a different expression. He noticed that this young man who helped them had an extraordinary aura. He was young, but gave off an unfathomable, calm presence. Deep down, every movement he made exuded a profound strength. "It's nothing, just lending a hand," Lin Shi replied. "Young man, you're not from that village, are you?" Chen Qing asked. "No, I'm from out of town. I came up the mountain to visit the Taoist temple." "Great, great. Please, follow me." The fat Taoist glanced at the mess left by the villagers, then led Chen Qing and Lin Shi up to the temple. Once they sat down in the temple, Lin Shi asked Chen Qing, "And who might this be?" "This is my martial nephew, my senior brother's disciple. My senior brother and I are from the same lineage, but he's not in Xia City." Lin Shi looked interested. In the previous apocalypse, he had guessed that the martial arts cultivation methods adopted by the government were proposed by the fat Taoist. At the same time, Lin Shi also suspected that the fat Taoist ancestors might have been from the dragon tribe. But in the last apocalypse, Lin Shi didn't know if his own appearance had caused a butterfly effect, because the fat Taoist never showed up in the end. "I'm very interested in Taoism. Taoist master, could you tell me about the history of your ancestors?" Lin Shi asked. Since Lin Shi had just saved him, the fat Taoist naturally spilled everything. He talked about the existence of Taoism and its modern contributions to the Xia kingdom. But no matter how much Lin Shi listened, he didn't hear what he wanted to know. He wanted to know if the fat Taoist's ancestors were connected to the dragon tribe. But the history was too ancient, and the lineage might have been broken. The fat Taoist could only recount events from 1,000 years ago. "Thank you, Taoist master. By the way, little brother, what's your name?" The fat Taoist had talked until his mouth was dry. He felt a strong connection with Lin Shi, as if they had met in a past life. "My name is Lin Shi. Good name. Let me read your fortune. Free of charge." Just then, Chen Qing brought tea for the two of them. "Martial uncle, young man, please have some tea." "Thank you." Lin Shi took the tea, took a sip, set it down, and said, "I still have things to do today, and it's getting late. Let's save the fortune-telling for another day." "Thank you, Taoist master." "Leaving so soon? Won't you stay for dinner?" the fat Taoist quickly asked. Chen Qing shot his uncle a look. He had just checked the kitchen. Aside from some rice and a jar of pickled vegetables, there was absolutely nothing else. How could his uncle invite someone to stay for dinner? "No need. I'll treat you to a meal next time." "All right." When Lin Shi and the fat Taoist reached the temple gates, Lin Shi suddenly said, "Taoist master, do you have any suitable health cultivation methods here? If you do, I'd like to buy one." The fat Taoist's eyes lit up, and he slapped his thigh. "I do." Lin Shi thought the fat Taoist was going to pull out the health cultivation manual he had given him before the apocalypse. Instead, the fat Taoist took out his phone, opened an app, and shoved the screen in front of Lin Shi. "Don't mention money. Here, open your short video app and follow me. My account is called Even Firewood Can Shine. I post a video every week. Every morning at 7 a.m., I upload a video teaching Taoist health exercises. Practice along with the videos when you're free. I guarantee it'll strengthen your body." Under the fat Taoist's expectant gaze, Lin Shi took out his phone and followed him. "Did you create these health exercises yourself, Taoist master? Or are they passed down from your founder?" Good. Little brother, you've followed me. Make sure to watch my live streams. Don't forget." The fat Taoist wanted to walk Lin Shi down the mountain to talk more about his live streams, but Lin Shi firmly declined. "Thank you, Taoist master. No need to see me off." Lin Shi quickly left the temple and opened the short video app to check the fat Taoist's account. The account had many videos. Clicking on them, they were all physical training exercises. Many of the movements were very similar to those in the health cultivation manual, just simplified by the fat Taoist to be more suitable for ordinary people. Could his guess be wrong? Was the resonance technique popularized by the government in his past life actually adapted from the fat Taoist short videos? The fat Taoist didn't survive the apocalypse. Holding his phone as he walked down the mountain, Lin Shi saw old Li leading his family of 4, blocking the path down. Lin Shi didn't even need to guess what they were up to. Perfect. If they wanted to die, they could all die together. Old Li said to Li Chong, "You stay put later. Let me handle it. I'm going to break that brat's legs and throw him off the mountain." Kids these days think too much. When the cops come, we'll just say the kid committed suicide. "I'll help you, Dad," Li Tsutsui chimed in from the side. Good. We'll do just that. If anything happens, I'll take the blame, Old Li said fiercely. Just as the family was plotting how to deal with Lin Shi, a gust of wind blew past, carrying the foul stench of a wild beast. A massive clouded leopard leaped down from the mountain, landing right in front of Old Li's family. With the clouded leopard appearing right next to them, Old Li's family of 4 fell dead silent, their eyes wide as they stared at the ferocious beast. In the past, the area around Wulong village had been ravaged by wild boars that injured villagers, but they were eventually dealt with. Since then, wild beasts rarely appeared in the mountains, let alone a clouded leopard. And this beast was absurdly huge. It looked like the ancestor of all clouded leopards. Just a moment ago, they were loudly boasting about teaching Lin Shi a lesson. Now, the arrogant swagger of the family of 4 vanished completely. Dad, you said you'd take the blame for whatever happens, right? Li Chong started slowly backing away. I'm still young. How about you take the blame this time, and I'll go back to the village to get help? Old Li crossed his arms, his eyes rolling back as he glared at his retreating son with his remaining good eye. Bullshit. Son, your mother and I are old and can barely walk. You're young and strong. You hold it off first. I'll go back to the village and get the chief to bring people. You want me and my sister to die? A leopard this big, by the time you get back, will be eaten, Li Tsuetsue said in terror. Then you're on your own. As soon as Li Chong finished speaking, he shoved Old Li, who was backing up, right toward the clouded leopard, then bolted down the mountain himself. Old Li tried to turn and run, but Li Chong's shove sent him sprawling to the ground. Granny Li and Li Tsuetsue acted like they didn't even see Old Li fall and ran after Li Chong. Old Li was scared out of his wits. He looked back at his wife and kids fleeing in panic and cursed furiously. Li Chong, you bastard. Get back here. A second later, Old Li felt a burning heat on the back of his neck. He turned his head and met a pair of eyes as big as brass bells. Li Chong, running ahead, didn't hear any screams, so he glanced back. What he saw terrified him so much he collapsed to the ground. Old Li, who had been perfectly fine a moment ago, had his head bitten off by the clouded leopard. The gruesome, bloody scene made Li Chong scramble to his feet and keep running. But how could 2 legs outrun 4? Moreover, this clouded leopard wasn't an ordinary beast. It was Little Cloud Leopard, the foolish clouded leopard born in Lin Shi's spatial dimension during the last apocalypse. Lin Shi stood on the mountain path, coldly watching Little Cloud Leopard bite Old Li's family to death. He felt no pity. They brought this upon themselves. They couldn't blame him for being ruthless. Recalling Little Cloud Leopard into his space, Lin Shi left Wulong village. Not long after Lin Shi left, the villagers discovered the incident and reported a wild beast attack. The fat Taoist was also questioned, but he hadn't seen any wild beasts. On the contrary, seeing Old Li's family dead made him secretly rejoice. Old Li's family was truly the most arrogant and unreasonable bunch in the village. Over the years, who knows how many people they had harmed. They were also the loudest troublemakers. The appearance of a wild beast near Wulong village only strengthened the fat Taoist's resolve to leave. After the security officers left, Chun Qing finally had the chance to explain his purpose to the fat Taoist. Martial uncle, I came to find you because Master has a new lead. Master wants us to go to Xia City to find someone named Lin Shi. Find who? Lin Shi? Why didn't you say so earlier? Leaving Wulong village, it was already dusk. Lin Shi didn't go home. Instead, he found a place to eat and picked a random hotel to rest. The next day, Lin Shi strolled along the beach in Xia City. If he remembered correctly, Lin Tianrui and Wang Chao were on an island a few dozen kilometers from this beach. Since the apocalypse hadn't arrived yet, he couldn't temporarily pull them away from the military to use them. Lin Shi visited a few familiar places and didn't return to the apartment until late. Only Qin Shuang was home. Where's your cousin? Lin Shi asked as he walked in. She left. Said she had work in High City. Qin Shuang looked a bit flustered, glancing toward the coffee table. Lin Shi didn't press further. Let her go. The paternity test results will be out in 2 days. Then you can go back to High City with Lu Siyue. But she probably doesn't want to take you back. Once Qin Shuang was confirmed as Lu Siyue's biological daughter, custody would theoretically go to her, especially since Qin Dagong was being accused of abusing Qin Shuang. However, If Lu Siyue absolutely refuses to take you, things might still change. If worse comes to worst, I'll just kill Qin Dagong and Zhang Xiaojun. Then Lu Siyue will have no choice but to take me back. Or, once my identity is confirmed, I'll go to High City to find you myself. If you have things to do, you can head back first, Qin Shuang said calmly. Qin Shuang's personality was quite similar to Lin Shi's, straightforward and averse to trouble. In the post-apocalyptic era, she was also someone who killed without blinking an eye. Perhaps since meeting Lin Shi, Qin Shuang had been intentionally mimicking his personality. My business isn't urgent. I doubt Lu Siyue will let you off easily. How are you feeling now? He also needed time to recover his strength. It's the same whether I'm in Xia City or High City, Qin Shuang said. I'm feeling much better. Lin Shi, I want to try unlocking my genetic tier tonight. She didn't want to be a burden to Lin Shi. She wanted to handle the Qin Dagong situation herself. Lin Shi was about to take out some medicine when his expression suddenly changed. He sensed something breaking through the soil in his spatial dimension. Lin Shi immediately closed his eyes to check the situation inside. Seeing Lin Shi suddenly stand perfectly still, Qin Shuang asked worriedly, "What's wrong?" Lin Shi remained motionless. Inside the space, a vibrant green vine, like a young sapling, sprouted from the soil. The vine slowly rose. Soon, Lin Shi could clearly see its shape. Lin Shi opened his eyes in astonishment. In his hand appeared a creature that was neither entirely animal nor plant, with a bizarre shape. Qin Shuang had seen this plant before, but it looked different this time. Little vine. Lin Shi nodded, both surprised and serious. Lin Shi thought that after using heaven and earth reversal, Little Vine would have disappeared along with the power of space-time. To his surprise, Little Vine was still alive and had been hiding deep within the soil of the spatial dimension all along. Little Vine's current appearance was vastly different from before. Perhaps due to absorbing the blood and chi of the dead origin beasts, Little Vine's body had turned from white to blood red. Its shape was still a sphere, but the originally red tendrils had turned vibrant green. At a glance, it looked like a giant red spiked ball. Back then, to raise his power to the highest tier, Lin Shi had fed Little Vine a lot of good stuff. But in the end, after acquiring heaven and earth reversal, he didn't want to waste resources anymore. Since he was certain he would go back in time, pouring all his resources into nurturing Little Vine only for it to disappear with the power of space-time would be a huge loss. Unexpectedly, because the power of space-time had eliminated most of the origin beasts, their blood and chi had merged into the soil of the spatial dimension. This allowed Little Vine not only to recover its strength, but also seemingly undergo a massive evolution. Seeing Little Vine again, Lin Shi was overjoyed. It immediately established a mental link with Lin Shi, expressing its joy through thought. Master! Master! Lin Shi noticed a familiar scent on Little Vine. He picked up one of Little Vine's chains and sniffed it. Mutant ginseng? Lin Shi thought in surprise. Where did mutant ginseng come from in the spatial dimension? If the Demon King were here, it would definitely be terrified and avoid it. Previously, Lin Shi had rewarded the Demon King with many mutant ginseng roots, but the Demon King had buried them in the soil of the spatial dimension. He didn't expect Little Vine to absorb them. Perhaps because they shared a plant origin, Little Vine now also emitted the fragrance of herbs. Feeling the joy in Little Vine's thoughts, which remained as pure as before, Lin Shi lowered his guard. He guided it step by step. Little Vine, I need your power. 2 days later, a dark figure jumped down from the back mountain of Huanliu village. Looking closely, the figure was small and petite, moving through the dark night as nimbly as a rabbit. Qin Dagong and Zhang Xiaojun, who had just been released, were fast asleep. However, that night, Qin Dagong slept restlessly. Because ever since he received the deposit from Lu Siyue 2 days ago, he had searched everywhere Qin Shuang might have gone, but still couldn't find her, let alone complete Lu Siyue's task. In his dream, Qin Dagong frowned and clenched his fists, not knowing what he was dreaming about. The dark figure used a small tool to easily open the balcony door and enter the room. Just then, Qin Dagong jolted awake, sitting up and panting heavily. He had just dreamed of a horrific disaster. The city was in chaos. He was about to rob a young man when Qin Shuang, the girl he had always abused, slashed his neck. Qin Dagong knew it was just a nightmare, but it felt so real, as if it had actually happened. At that moment, Qin Dagong's eyes met the dark figure in the room. He glanced at his still sleeping wife, then stared wide-eyed at the figure. The fear in his heart reached its peak. As the figure stepped in from the balcony, Qin Dagong finally saw its face clearly. Before he could scream, Qin Shuang's hand clamped tightly around his throat. Qin Dagong struggled but couldn't break free. He could only watch as Qin Shuang injected an unknown red liquid into his body with a syringe. Qin Dagong collapsed onto the bed like a dead dog. Zhang Xiaojun was sleeping like a log. Even though Qin Dagong's struggles had made some noise, she didn't wake up. She just rolled over and went back to sleep, clearly having not slept well these past few days. After injecting Qin Dagong, Qin Shuang returned to the balcony, closed the door tightly, and observed his reactions. She had just injected him with an improved berserk potion, a frenzy-inducing drug meant for Evolver's post-apocalypse, developed by the hidden clans. Lin Shi had given her this drug. This berserk potion enhanced an Evolver's attack power and reduced pain sensitivity. It didn't harm the body, but the side effect was that it slightly impaired reason during use, making the user irritable and aggressive. While this side effect was negligible for an Evolver, it was severe for an ordinary person. Not only did it cause a loss of reason and increased aggression, but it could also induce hallucinations. Qin Dagong, who had been lying limp on the bed, suddenly jolted upright. His eyes were bloodshot, and he panted heavily, like a bull about to go mad. Soon, Qin Dagong turned to look at Zhang Xiaojun, then lunged straight at her. Seeing this, Qin Shuang jumped off the balcony. A moment later, the quiet morning of the village was shattered by a piercing scream. When the police arrived, they found Zhang Xiaojun lying dead in a pool of blood, while Qin Dagong was clutching a box of cash, trying to flee. Upon waking up, Qin Dagong realized he had accidentally killed Zhang Xiaojun and immediately understood that Qin Shuang had framed him. He grabbed the money Lu Siyue had given him and tried to run. But Zhang Xiaojun's screams for help had been too loud, and the neighbors had already called the police. Qin Dagong hadn't even run a few hundred meters before he was caught. Meanwhile, Qin Shuang stood in the shadows of the back mountain, having witnessed the entire event. She patted Little Cloud Leopard beside her and returned to the nearby apartment in satisfaction. Lin Shi was already waiting in the dark. Seeing Qin Shuang return, he recalled Little Cloud Leopard into his space. At this moment, the origin power within Lin Shi erupted, reaching Tier 5. Did it go smoothly? Yes, very smoothly. Lin Shi recalled Little Cloud Leopard right in front of Qin Shuang. 2 days ago, when he discovered Little Vine awakening in his space, Lin Shi was actually quite wary of it. His current tier couldn't suppress Little Vine like he could in the post-apocalyptic era. Lin Shi originally thought it would take some effort to persuade Little Vine to transfer its power. Unexpectedly, as soon as he spoke, Little Vine directly transferred its origin power and spiritual power. He didn't know if it was because Little Vine had mutated from absorbing too much mutant ginseng and origin beast blood, or if it had just become smarter. This transfer didn't cause Lin Shi to fall into a coma. On the contrary, he felt the transfer of origin power and spiritual power was very gentle. The smooth and rapid process helped Lin Shi unlock his Tier 5 genetic lock. After reaching Tier 5, Lin Shi temporarily stopped Little Vine from transferring more origin power and spiritual power. As for Qin Shuang, while guarding Lin Shi during his breakthrough over the past 2 days, she had also unlocked her Tier 2 genetic lock. With Little Vine, Lin Shi decided to quickly resolve Qin Shuang's matters and then rapidly restore his tier. The next step was to go to Europe to bring Lin Yingzhan back. So he and Qin Shuang discussed a plan and decided to directly eliminate Qin Dagong and his wife. That was the main reason for Qin Shuang's actions tonight. The two went down the mountain, using spiritual power to avoid surveillance, and returned to the apartment. The next day, the investigation agency indeed received the paternity test results for Qin Shuang and Lu Siyue. Seeing Qin Shuang appear safely before her, Lu Siyue cursed Qin Dagong dozens of times in her head. "You brat, where's your adoptive father?" Lu Siyue was furious at Qin Dagong and asked the investigator in a harsh tone. Lu Siyue had faced the police several times. Qin Dagong is involved in a murder case and has been arrested by us. Additionally, We need your cooperation with the investigation. It turned out that the 100,000 yuan in Qin Dagong's house had been discovered, and the police traced it back to Lu Siyue. Lu Siyue was summoned for questioning. She could only repeatedly emphasize that out of gratitude to the Qin family for raising Qin Shuang for so many years, the money was a thank-you gift for their hard work. Fortunately, Qin Dagong didn't rat her out. Qin Dagong had practically gone insane. The police couldn't get any useful information out of him. His brain was affected by the hallucinogen, and his consciousness was very blurry. At first, he could stay lucid for a bit, but now he had started having erratic manic episodes. One moment, he said Qin Shuang wanted to kill him. The next, he said he killed Qin Shuang. His madness temporarily closed the case. Neither Lin Shi nor Qin Shuang expected the hallucinogen to affect an ordinary person so severely. But this also saved them a lot of trouble. The backup plans they had prepared wouldn't be needed anymore. Lu Siyue wasn't implicated in Qin Dagong's mess, but she already hated him to the core. Because of this incident, she had to transfer Qin Shuang's custody to her own name. She lost money and gained nothing. Left behind in Qin Dagong's house was the 9-year-old boy, Qin Jingqiu, who needed someone to raise him. The police kindly suggested that Qin Shuang temporarily take care of Qin Jingqiu for a while, and then they would contact other relatives of the Qin family to take him. Thus, Lu Siyue, who had planned to return alone, now had to bring back 2 burdens. But she couldn't stay in Xia City any longer. After a few days there, she heard rumors about wild beasts attacking people in the mountains, a severe murder case, and she almost got dragged into Qin Dagong's mess. So, after completing the paperwork for Qin Shuang, despite her reluctance, Lu Siyue anxiously hurried back to High City with Qin Shuang and Qin Jingqiu. The day after the paperwork was done, Lu Siyue took Qin Shuang and Qin Jingqiu on a flight back to High City. To save money, but mostly because she was dragging along 2 burdens. All 3 sat in economy class. This made Lu Siyue even more annoyed with Qin Shuang and Qin Jingqiu. You two, when we get to High City, I'll rent a place for you. Don't bother me anymore, understand? As for renting a place, transferring schools, or providing living expenses, she made absolutely no mention of them. Lu Siyue only thought about renting a room for Qin Shuang in the suburbs and leaving her be. Would a 16-year-old country girl die from being away from her relatives? She wanted to go back and see if Lin Mingjin was dead yet, then get rid of Lin Shi and start her life as a wealthy madam. Strangely, Shen Fanren hadn't contacted her at all over the past 2 days. This was also one of the reasons Lu Siyue was anxious to return to High City. As for Qin Jingqiu, he wasn't even on Lu Siyue's radar. Qin Shuang nodded obediently, showing no trace of the person who had choked Qin Dagong or knocked out Qin Dazhuang earlier. This was very beneficial for her following Lin Shi. Regarding money, since there were no adults left in the Qin family, all of the Qin families and Qin Dagong's assets naturally belonged to Qin Shuang. Qin Shuang glanced at Qin Jingqiu, a mocking look in her eyes. Qin Jingqiu kept his head down in silence. At only 9 years old, his expression was as fierce and sinister as a murderer's. The night Qin Dagong committed murder, Qin Jingqiu was woken up by the noise. He pushed open his bedroom door and witnessed Qin Dagong brutally beating Zhang Xiaojun. Terrified, he immediately closed the door, locked it, and didn't dare step out. He clearly heard Zhang Xiaojun's tragic screams as Qin Dagong tortured her to death. If he had run to the neighbors for help in time, Zhang Xiaojun might have had a chance to survive. But Qin Jingqiu didn't do that. He just hid under his blanket, covering himself completely. When the police came to arrest Qin Dagong, Qin Jingqiu even claimed he was asleep and didn't see anything. On the unfamiliar flight, away from Qin Dagong and Zhang Xiaojun, Qin Jingqiu appeared calm. But only Qin Shuang knew how much cruelty and malice this 9-year-old child harbored. Lu Siyue, Qin Shuang, Qin Jingqiu, and the bodyguard sat in economy class, unaware that Lin Shi was sitting in first class on the same flight. The flight went smoothly. Lin Shi got off the plane first and arrived home earlier than Lu Siyue. Lin Mingjin was at home. Father and son met and exchanged updates on the past few days. On Lin Mingjin's end, Shen Fanren had made a move, but Lin Mingjin had obtained evidence of his collusion with Shun Qibin to assassinate him. Lin Mingjin got Shen Fanren's contact info from Pan Zhongming and gave him a stern warning. Currently, Shen Fanren hadn't made another move, but he definitely wouldn't sit still for long. Lin Shi also told Lin Mingjin about Qin Shuang's situation. Knowing that Lin Shi had found a helper, Lin Mingjin was very happy. Good, good, good. You found a helper. I'm very glad. I was just worried you'd think you could handle everything yourself and carry all the burdens on your own shoulders. Now, you must remember, you are not omnipotent. Sometimes, you need people by your side to support you. Don't be afraid of betrayal. You have to learn how to identify those who will betray you. Those who approach you with ulterior motives from the start. As for people who won't betray you, maybe you'll never know what betrayal is in your entire life. Of course, I'm not telling you to trust others completely, but I hope you try to trust the people you value. Lin Mingjin spoke these words from the bottom of his heart, because he had been absolutely loyal to Lin Yingzhan his whole life. Even in his old age, when Lin Yingzhan was no longer around, he never wavered. Lin Yingzhan trusted him, and he hoped Lin Shi would also find people he could trust. Ever since he learned that Lin Shi had returned to the time before the apocalypse for the second time, Lin Mingjin felt the burden on his son's shoulders was so heavy it made even him breathless. Lin Mingjin felt fortunate to stand behind Lin Shi. He also hoped more people would help Lin Shi share the burden and change the future of humanity together. Hearing Lin Mingjin's words, a hint of surprise flashed in Lin Shi's eyes. He knew Lin Mingjin was worried about him. Don't worry, I won't make the same mistakes as last time. Lin Mingjin understood Lin Shi. He didn't need to say much. Lin Shi understood it all. That girl, Qin Shuang, you're letting Lu Siyue handle her? Yeah, Qin Shuang can handle this little matter perfectly. Dad, help me and Qin Shuang get European passports. I plan to go next month. I'll send you Qin Shuang's info. So soon. Lin Mingjin knew what Lin Shi would face on this trip to Europe. Not only would he reunite with his master, Lin Yingzhan, but he would also have to confront Qi Tiaohong of the Qi family head-on. Yeah, don't worry, I have everything under control. I've reached Tier 5, and in a few days, I'll break through to Tier 6. Lin Mingjin's eyes widened in shock. Lu Siyue landed and searched her contacts for a rental agency. She didn't care about the location, only the price. She found the cheapest room for Qin Shuang. She heard it was a basement room in the suburbs, and a shared one at that. But Lu Siyue didn't care. She gave the address to Qin Shuang and said, "You two go here and call the landlord. Qin Shuang, you're 16 now. You know I don't like you tagging along, right? I've sorted out the room. Don't bother me anymore, understand?" Suspicious and afraid that Qin Shuang might go to the police if she couldn't find the place, Lu Siyue left a phone number for her, then abandoned the two teenagers at the airport and walked away casually. As for the bodyguards, after Lu Siyue checked in, they received a call from Shen Fanren and left on their own. Qin Shuang watched Lu Siyue leave, didn't care at all, hailed a taxi, and gave an address. On the way, Qin Jingqiu suddenly spoke up. That's not the address. Qin Shuang ignored him. She didn't give the address Lu Siyue provided, but the one Lin Shi had mentioned when they parted ways. It was the rural courtyard Lin Shi had rented previously. The lease wasn't up yet, and Lin Shi had given the key to Qin Shuang. Seeing Qin Shuang ignore him, Qin Jingqiu glared at her, his eyes full of malice and resentment. Getting out of the car, Qin Jingqiu still looked at Qin Shuang with hatred and suspicion. Qin Shuang said, "Keep looking, and I'll gouge your eyes out." In Qin Jingqiu's eyes, Qin Shuang was just a tool for his family to beat, torture, and use for entertainment. Daily beatings were trivial. Putting dead mice or cockroaches in Qin Shuang's bed or clothes, stealing money from Qin Dagong, and blaming it on Qin Shuang. Qin Jingqiu was used to doing all of this. Especially after Qin Jingqiu started school, Qin Dagong forced Qin Shuang to tutor him. But Qin Jingqiu hated doing homework. Every time he did, he made Qin Shuang lie on the floor to act as his desk, claiming he could write faster that way. Qin Dagong and his wife naturally spoiled Qin Jingqiu. To Qin Jingqiu, Qin Shuang was a slave, a servant, a dog of his family. Now this dog dared to rebel. Qin Jingqiu was so angry his chest heaved violently. "You bitch. Finally stop pretending, huh? Stop pretending. My parents were ruined by you. You fucking bitch." Qin Jingqiu was young, but his mouth was full of foul language, clearly picked up from Qin Dagong and Zhang Xiaojun long ago. Qin Shuang didn't indulge him. She grabbed Qin Jingqiu's hand and snapped one of his fingers right before his terrified eyes. Looking at his unnaturally bent finger, Qin Jingqiu let out a blood-curdling scream. Unfortunately, the rural village was deserted. Even if someone heard the noise, they would just glance over and ignore it. "Stop screaming, or I'll break another one of your fingers." Qin Jingqiu had never experienced such torture before and continued to clutch his hand, crying and screaming miserably. "Ah, it hurts. It hurts. You bitch. You bitch, I'm going to kill you. It must be you. You bitch, who killed my parents. It must be you." Qin Shuang showed no mercy and snapped another one of Qin Jingqiu's fingers. "Scream again, and I'll kill you." This time, Qin Jingqiu didn't dare curse anymore. His face was covered in tears and snot, and his eyes looking at Qin Shuang grew even more hateful. Seeing someone walking by at the edge of the village, he immediately ran toward the stranger. Qin Shuang ignored him and casually walked into the village. Elsewhere, after getting rid of Qin Shuang, Lu Xiyue called Shen Fanren, but the line was always busy. She sent a WeChat message to Shen Fanren, saying she had returned to High City. Unexpectedly, she got a quick reply. These past few days, Shen Fanren had been in a terrible mood and had absolutely no desire to play romantic games with Lu Xiyue. As soon as Lu Xiyue left Xia City, he made a move against Lin Mingjin. He didn't expect Lin Mingjin to act like he had foresight, dodging his plan and even gathering evidence. Shen Fanren suspected that Lu Xiyue and Lin Mingjin were colluding to set a trap for him. Otherwise, how could he know his plan, and even know the secret about the hallucinogen? When Lin Mingjin used the evidence to threaten Shen Fanren wanted nothing more than to kill Lu Xiyue. At this moment, his phone displayed a new message from Lu Xiyue. Seeing that Lu Xiyue had returned to High City, Shen Fanren's eyes turned vicious. He picked up his phone and sent Lu Xiyue an address. Shen Fanren waved Wang Ji over, his tone vicious. "I've sent the address of that villa to Lu Xiyue. You go there immediately. Extract the truth from that woman's mouth. Find out exactly how that bitch betrayed me." "Yes, boss." Lu Xiyue still thought Shen Fanren would welcome her with a sweet reunion. She headed to the villa with a joyful heart, completely unaware that what awaited her was a fate worse than death and eternal damnation. Lin Shi and Lin Mingjin quietly proceeded with their realm breakthroughs at home. A few days later, Lu Xiyue still hadn't returned. Her absence saved the father and son a lot of trouble. After making preparations, Lin Shi and Lin Mingjin began breaking through from Tier 5 to Tier 6. This time, he was unconscious for half a month. If he hadn't warned Lin Mingjin beforehand, Lin Mingjin would have taken Lin Shi to the hospital. Fortunately, half a month later, Lin Shi finally woke up. Lin Shi opened his eyes. Before him was no longer the familiar darkness, but light. Lin Mingjin sat by his bed, looking at him with eyes full of worry. Lin Shi sat up. "How is it? Did you succeed?" Lin Mingjin asked anxiously. "I succeeded. I've unlocked the Tier 6 genetic lock. Moreover, Tier 7 isn't far off. Thanks to Little Vine." Lin Mingjin looked in surprise at Little Vine, the plant that had been wrapping around Lin Shi these past few days. Seeing a bizarre plant with consciousness that could communicate with humans for the first time, Lin Mingjin actually felt a bit scared. But after experiencing Little Vine's power and practicality, Lin Mingjin found it incredibly fascinating. "This little guy has been by your side all these days." Lin Shi checked his cornucopia panel. The text for object manipulation and plant growth acceleration, which had been grayed out and awaiting awakening, had now disappeared. This meant Lin Shi had acquired these two abilities, object manipulation and plant growth acceleration. Lin Shi didn't understand why he had gained the Divine Tree's abilities in this life without absorbing the Divine Tree. He activated the plant growth acceleration ability and placed his hand on Little Vine. Over the past few days, Little Vine had continuously transferred origin power and spiritual power to Lin Shi. Compared to when it first came out of the space, Little Vine looked visibly exhausted. Thanks to the plant growth acceleration ability, Little Vine joyfully wriggled its vines, its spirit visibly lifting. This ability was very useful for the growth and healing of plants. Lin Shi also discovered that using this ability frequently would make plants feel more affectionate toward him. "Is this a Tier 6 ability?" Lin Mingjin looked in astonishment at the green light in Lin Shi's hand. This scene exceeded his limited understanding of human capabilities. A Tier 6 ability, Plant Growth Acceleration. It helps plants grow rapidly and heals their injuries. Lin Shi explained briefly. After comforting Little Vine, Lin Shi asked Lin Mingjin, "Has anything happened lately?" "Quite a lot. Let me tell you. Lu Siyue went missing. She was on the same flight as Qin Shuang and you, but disappeared after the plane landed. In High City, the only person who could make Lu Siyue disappear without anyone knowing was Shin Fanren. But compared to finding Lu Siyue, Lin Mingjin was more worried about Lin Shi's safety, so he didn't step out of the house. While staying at home, Lin Mingjin narrowly avoided several bizarre, orchestrated accidents. Assassins disguised as food delivery drivers, a fire in the downstairs neighbor's apartment, a malfunctioning elevator, a leaking water pipe. He detected and neutralized the other dangers in time. Only the fire. When he smelled the thick smoke, he was terrified the fire would spread and affect Lin Shi's breakthrough. He almost carried Lin Shi out of the apartment. But fortunately, the owner of the apartment where the fire started was a firefighter. He happened to be off duty that day. For some reason, his balcony caught fire. The man quickly controlled the flames, and with the fire extinguisher in the building and the rapid arrival of the fire department, the fire was put out very quickly. Aside from causing some damage to that family, the floors above and below only suffered minor smoke damage. Is Qin Shuang okay? Before his breakthrough, Lin Shi had given Qin Shuang's contact info to Lin Mingjin. Lin Mingjin said, "That girl Qin Shuang? When she went back to the village, I was worried the villagers would give her a hard time. Who knew nothing happened at all. That girl really has some tricks up her sleeve." In the apocalypse, someone who could reach Qin Shuang's position was naturally no ordinary person. In his past life, Qin Shuang managed a third of the evolvers under Lin Tianrui, and her strength was top tier in the base. How could a bunch of villagers bully her? I heard Qin Shuang's stepbrother ran away from the village and accused her of abuse. He's been sent back to Xia City. Lin Shi frowned. Where's Qin Shuang? Qin Shuang said Qin Jingxiu ran off on his own. Right in front of the security officers, Qin Jingxiu punched and kicked Qin Shuang. Anyone could see who was abusing who. Qin Shuang is fine, of course. All right, my passport and yours are ready. I've thought it over carefully. This time, I'm going to Europe with you. In Xia City. Shin Fanren doesn't dare attack me openly. I don't want to get tangled up with him. I want to go with you and handle the main business. Before leaving, Lin Shi had asked Lin Mingjin to get the passports done. Lin Mingjin had someone expedite them and conveniently made one for himself too. Then let's go together. Lin Shi poured a glass of water in the living room and took it to his room. Having regained the ability to manipulate objects, even though it was only at Tier 6, Lin Shi used it as skillfully as his own arm. This is your ability too? Lin Mingjin's jaw dropped, gaining a new understanding of the power of high-tier evolvers. A day later, at High City International Airport, Lin Shi, Lin Mingjin, and Qin Shuang, dressed casually, sat together in the waiting lounge. Over the past half-month, Qin Shuang had been nourished quite a bit compared to before, but she was still thin. Seeing Lin Mingjin, she politely called out, "Uncle." With the Tier 1 potion Lin Shi gave her, and the origin beast meat Lin Mingjin provided, Qin Shuang's tier had reached Tier 3. Her aura was vastly different from when Lin Shi first found her. Even if Qin Dagong stood in front of Qin Shuang right now, he'd have a hard time recognizing her. What a good kid. Lin Mingjin nodded at Qin Shuang, his eyes filled with affection. Knowing Qin Shuang's tragic background, Lin Mingjin felt a bit of guilt and pity. Actually, Lin Mingjin knew Lin Shi had no other intentions toward Qin Shuang. Otherwise, he really would have considered playing matchmaker. This child, Lin Shi, was deceived and betrayed in his past life, and fought the apocalypse alone in this life. Lin Mingjin wanted Lin Shi to open his heart emotionally, but it would probably take a long time. This time, the three of them didn't sit in first class. Instead, they chose business class. Sitting in the lounge, Lin Shi sensed several probing and murderous gazes directed at them. He didn't even need to look to know it was definitely Shin Fanren's people. Unfortunately, the people Shin Fanren sent were still too weak. Just 3 Tier 1 evolvers. Enough to deal with ordinary people, but insignificant against the current Lin Mingjin. Lin Mingjin had already noticed these 3 and whispered in Lin Shi's ear, "Should we take care of these guys first?" I'm worried they'll cause trouble on the plane. It's fine. They can't do anything. Lin Sure stood up and walked toward the restroom in the lounge. Seeing this, one of the three assassins followed him toward the restroom. In the airport lounge, a man dressed like an ordinary businessman on a trip, carrying a briefcase, constantly checked his watch, looking anxious for his flight. But his gaze kept sweeping over Lin Mingjin's group. Yin Lang didn't understand why his boss had sent the three of them to deal with an ordinary person this time. He felt underestimated, which annoyed him. Since becoming a professional assassin, Yin Lang's mission completion rate was up to 95%. There was only one mission he hadn't fully completed, and it wasn't because of a mistake on his part, but because the target was too unlucky and died in a car crash before he could strike. Because the mission didn't pass through his hands and was cancelled, the arrogant Yin Lang considered it a failure, reminding himself to strike decisively. At this moment, Yin Lang noticed one of the targets stand up and head to the restroom. Yin Lang's eyes lit up. He grabbed his briefcase and followed. Even though the boss only ordered them to kill Lin Mingjin, Yin Lang was dissatisfied with 3 people killing 1. He decided to add a side mission, kill the 2 companions as well. The image of a father watching his child die tragically in his arms was truly beautiful. Thinking of that scene, Yin Lang couldn't help but lick his lips greedily as he entered the restroom. He took out a poison needle hidden in his laptop from his briefcase, preparing to approach the target and stab him. This needle was extremely thin. If done quickly, an ordinary person would only feel a slight shock. But the poison on the needle, combined with the needle being as thin as a cow's hair, would travel through the bloodstream to the heart, causing the victim to die after a certain amount of time. The death process resembled a stroke. Without an autopsy, it was very hard to detect. Moreover, this method took time to take effect. By the time the victim died, Yin Lang would have wiped away all traces and fled far away. This was Yin Lang's go-to method for domestic hits, discreet and hard to detect. Invisible murder. Modern people often stayed up late and overate, so the sudden death rate was increasing. Sudden death was normal. Yin Lang smirked, sneering coldly as he slowly approached the target's son. Reaching striking distance, he smirked and quickly thrust the needle toward the target's neck. But just as Yin Lang thought he had succeeded, the target suddenly turned around. Lin Sure looked at the assassin who had followed him into the restroom and calmly asked, "What are you doing?" Yin Lang laughed awkwardly. "Ah, sorry, mistook you for someone else. Thought you were a friend. Was going to pat your shoulder. Sorry about that, kid." Yin Lang went to pat Lin Sure's shoulder, but his pupils shrank when he realized the needle in his hand was gone. "Are you looking for this?" Lin Sure twirled a needle as thin as a cow's hair, so small it was invisible if you didn't look closely. "What's that? A needle? That needle is too small. You better be careful with it, kid. This needle is hard to handle." Yin Lang felt a chill down his spine. When did his needle end up in the opponent's hand without him even noticing? His first reaction was that he had run into an expert of the same caliber. At that moment, Lin Sure's wrist flicked slightly. The cowhair needle in his hand vanished in the blink of an eye. He opened his mouth and said, "If I were you, I'd rush to the hospital right now. You might still have time to get the needle out and save your life." "What did you say? Could it be?" Yin Lang hurriedly backed up a few steps, anxiously checking his body. "Are you bluffing me?" Lin Sure had thrown the needle so fast that Yin Lang didn't feel any discomfort. If Lin Sure had used more force, the needle would have pierced right through his clothes. But Lin Sure controlled his strength perfectly, only piercing Yin Lang's blood vessel. Guided by object manipulation, this needle would take effect much faster than Yin Lang's usual method. "Look at the back of your hand, and you'll know." Lin Sure turned away. He wasn't trying to warn the assassin or leave him a way out. He was just worried that 3 people dying suddenly in the airport lounge would delay their flight. Yin Lang stood stunned. He waited until Lin Sure left before looking down at the back of his hand. Looking closely, he immediately panicked. There was a tiny red dot on the back of his hand, looking like a normal burst capillary. But that red dot was right over Yin Lang's vein, and he hadn't noticed it at all just a moment ago. Thinking of the cowhair needle that had vanished without a trace from the opponent's hand, Yin Lang didn't hesitate and walked briskly out of the airport. If this type of needle entered a blood vessel, the more intensely he moved, the faster his blood would flow, and the quicker he would die. As long as he slowed down and kept his heart rate normal, He could definitely get to the hospital and have it removed before it took effect. Seeing Yin Lang walk out of the lounge with steady steps, the other two assassins looked confused. They didn't understand why Yin Lang left without a word. Suddenly, one of the assassins felt a sting on his neck, like a mosquito bite. He scratched it, pulling away a flake of red skin. Whatever, ignore it. Anyway, with Yin Lang gone, it would be easier for either of them to complete the mission. The two assassins looked at each other, the competition in their eyes clear. Lin Shi returned to sit next to Lin Mingjun, his hand still twirling an exquisite fountain pen. The pen danced in Lin Shi's hand, appearing and disappearing, looking incredibly magical. Lin Mingjun asked softly, "Taken care of?" "Yeah, took care of all three at once." The waiting time after that was very quiet. Just before the flight began boarding, someone in the lounge suddenly collapsed. Airport medical staff rushed over immediately. After checking, they found the person's heart had stopped and quickly moved him out of the lounge. Another person died in the restroom and wasn't discovered by the cleaning staff until after the plane took off. As for Yin Lang, the one who provided Lin Shi with information, he died in the back seat of a taxi shortly after leaving the airport. Thus, all three people Shin Fanren sent were eliminated, and Lin Shi and his two companions boarded the flight straight to Europe. Lin Shi had finished boarding. On the other side, Shin Fanren received the news that all the assassins he sent had been wiped out. He reviewed the files of Lin Mingjun's family again. Cold autumn rain pattered on the trash-filled streets, creating a thick fog. The streetlights flickered dimly. In that misty, rainy night, an old, extremely dilapidated building stood at the end of the street. This was the cheapest housing in Italy's capital and also its slum. All sorts of people, of all shapes and sizes, gathered here, turning this place into the most chaotic and dirty area in the city. Only those with no money and nowhere to go would live here. Lin Yingxian, wearing a baseball cap and carrying a travel backpack, walked into the rundown building in the rain. As soon as he stepped into the hallway, rainwater dripped from the roof, falling squarely on his shoulders and head. Lin Yingxian looked up. The hallway walls were covered in mold and peeling paint, and rainwater continuously seeped through. Haha, this place isn't too bad. Raining inside just like outside, natural running water. Lin Yingxian didn't mind and continued deeper into the hallway, reaching the third floor and turning left. In the hallway, the doors to the damp, dark rooms were all open. People of all skin colors and shapes were either sitting in their rooms, standing by their doors, or leaning against the windows. The air was filled with a musty smell, mixed with the stench of urine. Most of the rooms were occupied. In their eyes, there was either numb exhaustion or sheer malice. Lin Yingxian walked past a few rooms before being blocked by a black man. The man held a beer bottle, flexing his bulging muscles. "Pay the rent, or get lost." "I'm staying, you get lost." Lin Yingxian didn't stop. He stepped forward and easily grabbed the black man, who was half a head taller and much bulkier than him. With a loud thud, the man was thrown flat onto the wet hallway floor. The loud noise made the people on the floor poke their heads out to watch the commotion. Seeing that the tough guy of the floor had run into a harder opponent, they quickly pulled their heads back in. However, some still peeked through the cracks in their doors, sizing up the newcomer. Here, everyone had to know who not to mess with. Lin Yingxian tossed the bulky black man aside like a piece of trash and continued toward the empty room, 3065. Lin Yingxian took a simple key from his backpack. Opening the door, he saw the room was full of garbage and dust left by the previous occupant. Lin Yingxian frowned, stepped out of the room, and waved at the bulky black man still lying in the hallway. "Hey, tough guy, come here and help me out." Half an hour later, Lin Yingxian looked with satisfaction at the much cleaner room. He waved his hand, allowing the bulky black man, who was standing obediently to the side, to leave. Just as he stepped out, Lin Yingxian called him back. The bulky black man was a bit afraid of Lin Yingxian, but still stubbornly said, "What else?" Lin Yingxian rummaged through his backpack. Just as the black man thought Lin Yingxian was going to pull out a gun and shoot him, Lin Yingxian pulled out a new pack of cigarettes and tossed it to him. "Thanks." The bulky black man caught it in surprise, stared at Lin Yingxian for a moment, said nothing, and left the room with the cleaning supplies. Lin Yingxian spread a plastic sheet on the floor, sat down, took a new pack of cigarettes from his backpack, lit one, and smoked it slowly. Hopefully, I can get a good night's sleep here with the key I took from that bastard. He felt his mind getting slower and slower lately, frequently losing focus. When he woke up, he wouldn't know how he ended up somewhere. The last time he felt this way, he caused a huge mess and ended up with a son. Fortunately, after that, while being hunted by the Chi family, he unlocked his Tier 3 genetic lock, and his condition improved slightly. It all happened so fast. Lin Yingzhan stayed silent, finished his cigarette, and flicked the butt outside. The cigarette butt flew in an arc through the air and fell into the soaked hallway through the open window. The glowing ember was quickly extinguished by the water. A group of men in black, wearing black hats, stormed into the slum building under the pouring rain. The leader, a man wearing a black baseball cap with a gold rim, said, "Find him in this building." The other men in black immediately dispersed, searching room by room. Arriving at one room, they looked inside. A man in black grabbed a filthy little boy, held up a photo of Lin Yingzhan, and asked, "Have you seen this man?" The boy shook his head in terror and was thrown to the ground. The boy watched the men in black continue asking at other rooms, then quickly ran back into his room and locked the door. Similar scenes played out all over the building. Soon, they had finished searching 3 floors. One man in black arrived at the room next to the one Lin Yingzhan had just cleaned. He shoved the photo in front of a burly man. "You come here. Have you seen the man in this photo?" The burly man saw Lin Yingzhan's photo, his eyes darting away as he said, "No." The man in black lowered the photo. Just as the burly man thought he was going to leave, the man in black suddenly drew a machete. With a speed almost invisible to the naked eye, the sharp blade sliced off the burly man's arm. Half an arm fell to the dirty floor with a thud. "You're lying." The man in black pointed the blade at the burly man's throat. "Tell me where he is, or I'll kill you." Only now did the burly man feel the excruciating pain. Clutching his bloody stump, he wailed and screamed miserably, his voice echoing through half the building. The pain left him speechless, but the man in black still wouldn't let go. He wanted him dead. A short knife followed up. Just as the burly man thought he was a goner, the man in black suddenly froze. A sharp dagger had pierced his heart. Lin Rongshuan appeared from behind, pulling the dagger out. He picked up the severed arm, took a pill from his pocket, crushed it, and sprinkled it over the wound. The bleeding stopped instantly. Lin Rongshuan quickly reattached the arm for the burly man, wrapping it with cloth. "I don't know if it'll heal, but let's give it a try. Hold tight. I have to get you out of here." The burly man hadn't even processed what he meant by "get out." A second later, he found himself lifted up like a baby chick, then thrown by Lin Rongshuan toward the window opposite the door. The old window shattered into wooden splinters, flying out along with Lin Rongshuan and the burly man right behind. A group of men in black rushed to the door. "Found him." After them, Lin Rongshuan and the black burly man sprinted down the narrow alley. While running, he calmly chatted with the man. "What's your name?" "I'm Ando. When that guy asked you earlier, why didn't you give him my room number?" "I figured he knew I was lying." "I mean, why did you help me?" Ando, the black burly man, stayed silent for a moment before answering. "You gave me a pack of cigarettes and even thanked me. Just because of that. Yeah, you're the first person to respect me, to treat me like a human being since I came to this damn place. You're a good guy," Ando stammered while panting heavily. Lin Rongshuan was running too fast, carrying a guy weighing over 200 pounds, yet still moving at such speed. Ando was bounced around the whole way, but luckily he didn't throw up. He felt that tonight's events had completely shattered his worldview and his principles. His principle was to always show strength to newcomers, grab any benefits he could, avoid trouble, and just survive in the slums. Before, even disabled beggars in wheelchairs on the street would spit in his face. Because of racial discrimination. If he wasn't strong, he knew he'd be tortured until not even his bones remained here. Everyone here either hated or feared him. But today, a man so strong he could easily take him down was willing to give him a pack of cigarettes and even say thank you. Ando felt he had finally received the respect he had craved for so long. Even if Lin Rongshuan's actions were a bit reckless, Ando didn't regret it. Just because of that, even with his memory loss, Lin Rongshuan couldn't fully grasp this black man's thoughts. "Really, thank you. Your miserable screams earlier helped me lure those bugs over." Ando's face flushed red, though it was hard to tell with his dark skin. Why are they hunting you? I forgot the reason myself. Anyway, just keep running. Did you steal something valuable from them? That's how it usually goes in the movies. Maybe it's because when their bosses were showering, I accidentally saw that their junk was smaller than mine, so they got pissed. Even though Lin Rongxuan often lost his memory, his combat and escape skills were top-notch. The men in black chasing from behind couldn't catch him no matter how hard they tried. After chasing for more than half the night, the soaking wet men in black gathered together. The man in black, wearing a gold-rimmed cap, stepped in front of Qi Bing. The man in gray spoke. Captain, Lin Rongxuan got away. The other men in black lowered their heads in silence. A bunch of useless trash. You let a piece of garbage like him escape? Qi Bing raised his head, revealing a gloomy expression. The current Qi Bing was younger than the Qi Bing who died at Lin Shi's hands in the apocalypse. His level was only tier 3. Keep searching. All the men in black quietly left, leaving only the one in the gold-rimmed cap. Captain, Lin Rongxuan is already at tier 3 or higher. We've been hunting him for almost 3 years. Should we ask the headquarters to send more people? Catch him sooner and complete the master's plan early. Lin Rongxuan. His days are numbered. I just received word from the master. Clan Elder Qi Jia will be arriving tomorrow. This time, we will definitely catch that slippery loach Lin Rongxuan. Over the years, to catch Lin Rongxuan, Qi Tiaoheng had secretly sent people to hunt him down in shifts, from ordinary clan members to the main lineage, and even clan elders. But every time, Lin Rongxuan managed to escape. Clan Elder Qi Jia? Isn't he the Patriarch's man? Why is he coming to help us? Hasn't the Patriarch always opposed our master wasting effort to catch Lin Rongxuan? The man in black asked in surprise. This was the second in command of the Qi family, right below the Patriarch, with a status equal to the young master. His strength was unfathomably deep. He could be said to be the strongest under the Patriarch, having unlocked the tier 4 gene lock. Moreover, rumor had it he was absolutely loyal to the Patriarch. Elder Jia's main mission this time isn't Lin Rongxuan, but to escort young Master Qi to study abroad. However, he'll take some time to lend us a hand. You, go to Donna Street and take a look. There's a Qi family secret mark carved on the clock. That's the person you're waiting for. The man in black took off his cap and looked up, revealing a face that looked 50% like Qi Tiaoheng. This time, as long as we catch or eliminate Lin Rongxuan, I can return to the family, right? Qi Bing frowned at the boy who had always been raised by Qi Tiaoheng in the UK, Duluja. Before the master truly becomes the head of the Qi family, Qi Yun will be the young master. Until then, you must learn to hold back. Don't mention returning ever again. This was a phrase he had heard countless times, but for some reason, Duluja felt that Qi Bing's words right now, combined with the surroundings, gave him a strong sense of déjà vu. It was as if this scene had happened before, or he had seen it in a dream. He felt a sudden, unexpected opening in his mind, and memories that shouldn't have existed suddenly flooded in. Qi Bing thought his words had upset Duluja, so he patted his shoulder and said, I know you resent the master for hiding your identity, but he's doing it to protect you. I hope you understand. Duluja suddenly snapped back to reality, flashing a bright white smile. I know. Clan Elder, I'll get going. With that, he turned and walked into the ring. But as he turned his back, the ruthlessness in Duluja's eyes could no longer be hidden. Hold back? In my past life, I always held back, and in the end, I still died at the hands of that brat Qi Yun. Just now, a few memories of the future suddenly appeared in Duluja's mind. No, not the future. He had been reborn. In his past life, he died at the hands of Qi Yun, who was escorted here by Qi Jia to study abroad. Now that heaven and earth had granted him rebirth, he must be the chosen one. Qi Yun, in this life, I will kill you. This time, he would seize this opportunity to reclaim the status and glory that rightfully belonged to him. Maybe. He might even have the chance to take over the Qi family. Lin Shi and the other two went through a flight of over 10 hours and finally landed in the capital of the UK. As the plane touched down and they breathed the outside air, all three felt much better. Taking a plane really wasn't very comfortable. Lin Shi still preferred using his flying sword. But in modern society, the airspace of every country has monitoring equipment. Flying on his own would easily get him treated as a UFO and attacked. Lin Shi knew foreign languages. Leaving the airport, he followed the map on his phone, found a car rental company, and rented an SUV. Then Lin Shi gave the location. Lin Mingjin drove, and Qin Shuang checked the map. Based on their memories, the three went to places where Lin Rongshuan might appear during this time. Last time in the apocalypse, Lin Rongshuan and I met. That was after I gained the power to reverse heaven and earth. Lin Shi had investigated thoroughly and knew Lin Rongshuan's exact location in the years before the apocalypse. Lin Rongshuan had been living in exile for a long time with no fixed residence. He might be in one place in the morning and another in the afternoon. Therefore, he could only give Lin Shi a general city and area. Right now, Lin Shi only knew that Lin Rongshuan was definitely in the capital of the UK. With Lin Shi's current mental strength, finding someone in a city was truly a piece of cake. The capital of the UK wasn't large. Along the way, Lin Mingjin drove while Lin Shi constantly used his mental energy to search for the target. The three sat quietly in the car. Suddenly, Lin Shi broke the silence. 30 meters ahead, turn left. Lin Mingjin's eyes lit up, knowing Lin Shi had found Lin Rongshuan. He quickly turned the steering wheel, driving exactly in the direction Lin Shi pointed. Following Lin Shi's directions, the car soon stopped in front of a church. Your father, he's here? Lin Mingjin was clearly overwhelmed with emotion. He and his master hadn't seen each other for decades. To say he wasn't excited would be a lie. Lin Shi nodded. Today is Sunday. The church is holding a service. Lin Rongshuan is mingling with the Christian believers, singing along seriously. We'll wait until the service is over and everyone pours out of the church, Lin Shi said. Go to the back door. Lin Mingjin immediately steered the car toward the back door of the church. Behind the church, Lin Rongshuan and Ando were begging a priest for food. Old man with the white beard, could you give us something to eat? We're starving to death. The kind priest didn't refuse Lin Rongshuan's blunt request. He went into the living quarters and brought out the bread he bought today to give to Lin Rongshuan. Thank you. You're a good man. May God be with you. Lin Rongshuan happily took the bread, broke it in half, and gave half to Ando. Although Ando was black, his face clearly showed he wasn't doing well. He also said his thanks and ate the bread. Lin Mingjin suddenly appeared at the back door of the church. Seeing Lin Rongshuan's familiar figure, tears welled up in his eyes. He was about to greet him, but Lin Rongshuan's first reaction upon seeing the car stop at the back door was to throw away his half-eaten bread. He grabbed the bewildered Ando and ran. Lin Mingjin's hand froze midair. Seeing Lin Rongshuan flee like that, Lin Shi felt both amused and heartbroken. He got out of the car and quickly gave chase. It had to be said, the escape skills of someone who had evaded the Qi family for so many years were absolutely top tier. Even though Lin Shi was tier 6 and Lin Rongshuan was tier 3, and Lin Shi didn't want to hurt him, it still took him a full 3 minutes to catch up. If it were an ordinary tier 3 mutant, it would have been over in an instant. At this moment, Lin Rongshuan didn't recognize Lin Shi at all. Seeing Lin Shi's youthful face and high martial arts skills, he naturally assumed it was someone from the Qi family coming to kill him. Seeing no way out, Lin Rongshuan immediately unlocked his genes and lunged at Lin Shi. Lin Shi didn't even have a chance to speak. Lin Rongshuan was incredibly fast, his eyes full of murderous intent. In the blink of an eye, he was right in front of Lin Shi. Lin Shi stood still. Lin Rongshuan suddenly drew a sharp short knife and thrust it straight at his own heart without hesitation. Lin Shi reached out and caught the blade. The sharp edge didn't cause any harm to him. The short knife was clamped tight, stopping right in front of Lin Shi's chest, unable to advance an inch. The moment he grabbed the knife, Lin Shi quickly said, "I'm Lin Shi." Hearing this, Lin Rongshuan visibly trembled. He looked straight into Lin Shi's face. When he saw the scar on his eyebrow, the scar he himself had left behind, the grip on the knife in Lin Rongshuan's hand instantly loosened. Was this the son he hadn't seen in decades? But if it really was his son, he should only be 15 now. How could he appear here, at this time, and even find him? Lin Rongshuan fully opened his gene lock, countless possibilities flashing through his mind, but he still couldn't believe the person in front of him was his son. However, the undeniable connection of bloodline was there. Just then, Lin Mingjin and Qin Shuang ran over. Seeing the father and son clashing weapons, Lin Mingjin panicked and shouted, "Master, don't attack." Hearing the voice from behind, Lin Rongshuan dropped the knife and warily stepped back, avoiding a potential pincer attack. This was a habit he had developed after years of running and killing. Lin Mingjin knew Lin Rongshuan was treating them as people from the Qi family, the ones hunting him down, to protect Lin Shi. After parting ways with Lin Rongshuan, Lin Mingjin had disguised himself and changed his appearance. His current face looked nothing like before, but he and Lin Rongshuan had a secret signal known only to the two of them. Lin Mingjin hurriedly used that secret signal with Lin Rongshuan. However, Lin Rongshuan had forgotten a lot of things, including the signal with Lin Mingjin. Recalling that, Lin Mingjin almost tore his hair out. Meanwhile, Lin Shi struck out with his palm, knocking out Ando, who was hiding in the corner. Seeing Lin Rongshuan about to overreact, Lin Shi said, "Let me speak. Besides me, you have another son, right?" Lin Rongshuan's whole body trembled. How do you know? The fact that he had another son besides Lin Shi was known only to Lin Rongshuan. Even the woman who had a relationship with him didn't know. It's a long story. I'll keep it brief. Lin Shi used his mental energy to scan the surroundings, confirming there was no one around and no listening devices, before whispering the story. He recounted what he had told Lin Mingjin, but this time he didn't mention rebirth, starting instead from the previous apocalypse. He talked about unlocking the power to reverse heaven and earth and returning to the present. Even so, it took nearly an hour. There were still many details Lin Shi hadn't fully explained to Lin Rongshuan, but he could take his time later. Halfway through, seeing the black friend beside them looking like he was about to wake up, Qin Shuang delivered another chop to his neck. After telling the whole story, seeing Lin Rongshuan still looking doubtful, Lin Shi couldn't help but smile bitterly. Last time when Lin Rongshuan came to acknowledge him, he must have been just as exhausted explaining things as Lin Shi was now. It really was karma. Now it was his turn. Lin Shi took out a bottle of water from his spatial storage. He drank it all. Seeing Lin Shi's ability to take items from a spatial dimension, all the remaining doubts in Lin Rongshuan's heart vanished. The ability to use spatial storage proved he had awakened the cornucopia. There was no mistaking this. Lin Rongshuan emotionally grabbed Lin Shi's hand. "Son, it really is you." The father and son hugged. Lin Rongshuan suddenly felt a wave of fear, realizing he had almost hurt his son. He hurriedly checked to see if Lin Shi was injured. Fortunately, Lin Shi was completely unharmed. Lin Rongshuan repeatedly confirmed it before breathing a sigh of relief. He said excitedly, "This is great. I've found clues about the key to the cornucopia. Maybe it'll be of great help. There's no need to look for that key anymore." Lin Shi further explained that after the cornucopia was opened and reversed heaven and earth, the cornucopia itself and related artifacts would disappear. "Master, I'm sorry for leaving you to suffer alone all these years." Lin Mingjin knelt on one knee, looking at Lin Rongshuan with tears in his eyes. The man, who had aged over a decade since their last parting, was filled with self-blame. Lin Rongshuan frowned and whispered in Lin Shi's ear. "Who is he?" Lin Mingjin. Lin Shi was about to explain when the sound of car engines echoed from afar. That faint sound instantly snapped Lin Rongshuan out of the joy of reuniting with his son. He quickly pulled Lin Shi toward the exit. "Run. The Qi family's people are catching up. You guys go first. I'll stay behind and hold them off." For a long time, Lin Shi hadn't had the chance to tell Lin Rongshuan about his current strength. He thought that after blocking Lin Rongshuan's knife, his father would have somewhat guessed it. He had underestimated the care of a father who had spent years searching for him, to the point that when he noticed the pursuers approaching, his instinct was to protect Lin Shi first. Lin Shi had to explain, "I've already unlocked the Tier 6 gene lock. I came this time to settle everything with the Qi family and take you back home. None of those Qi family dogs hunting you will escape." Those words exuded absolute confidence and intense murderous intent. Lin Rongshuan finally realized that his son was indeed no ordinary teenager. Feeling the terrifying aura radiating from Lin Shi, he gradually calmed down, tears welling up in his eyes. "It's so good, my son has grown up. He can protect his father now." However, thinking of what he had investigated about the Qi family during his years in the shadows, Lin Rongshuan still worried that Lin Shi didn't fully understand their true power. He said, "The Chi family is very strong. We need to discuss dealing with them more carefully. First, let's take care of the people chasing us." Seeing Lin Shi looking at him, Lin Rongxuan hurriedly explained. "The Chi family isn't just that old dog Qi Tiaoing. There's also your uncle and your grandfather's lineage. Your uncle, your mother's death had nothing to do with him. If you want to make a move on that old dog Qi Tiaoing, your uncle, the head of the Qi family, will definitely step in. Not to mention the solidarity of the hidden families. It's highly likely other families will intervene." In his past life, Lin Shi confronted the Qi family after going through the life and death trials of the apocalypse. By then, the Qi family's strength had been halved by Qi Tiaoing. Lin Shi also knew the current Qi family was many times stronger than in his past life. But so what? As long as he recovered his full strength. No, returning this time, he would definitely be even stronger. Dealing with the Qi family is just a small matter. I've already planned everything out. Dad, from now on, you don't need to worry about anything. Just get some good rest. Leave the rest to me. Lin Rongxuan's years of hardship made Lin Shi realize how much his father had endured. The fact that he could grow up safely was all thanks to his father's silent sacrifices. Lin Shi used his mental energy and detected several Qi family subordinates approaching. They were just Tier 1 evolvers. At that moment, they were on the upper floor of the church. These guys hadn't seen them yet, but were heading toward the church. Lin Shi turned and said to Qin Shuang, "Take them out." Qin Shuang nodded and walked out of the church. The Qi family subordinates still hadn't found any trace of Lin Rongxuan and the others. They only had clues suggesting Lin Rongxuan might be in the suburbs, inside the church. Just then, they saw a girl walk out of the church and head toward them. They didn't pay much attention. One of them even pulled a photo of Lin Rongxuan from his pocket and waved it in front of the approaching Qin Shuang. "Have you seen this man?" Qin Shuang didn't answer. "I'm asking you a question." One of the men in black reached out to grab Qin Shuang, but the moment he moved, Qin Shuang quickly closed the distance. Her hands were as fast as a ghost's, grabbing his neck. Before he could react, she snapped it. What followed was a massacre. In just a minute, all the men in black were dead. Her clean, agile moves left Lin Rongxuan, who had just stepped out of the church, dumbfounded. "Her name is Qin Shuang. She's our friend. She has regained all her memories from her past life, just like how I returned from the previous apocalypse. I'll find a way to help you recover your memories too," Lin Shi explained. Qin Shuang took a wet wipe to clean her hands and politely called out, "Hello, uncle." Her expression showed absolutely no sign that she had just killed several people. Lin Rongxuan nodded in a daze. Good, good. He was so shocked he couldn't speak. To think a skinny little girl like Qin Shuang possessed such formidable skills and strength. It wasn't just her comparable strength, but her aura, decisiveness, ruthlessness, and proficiency in killing that matched the current Lin Rongxuan. If Lin Shi hadn't said Qin Shuang also had memories of the previous apocalypse, Lin Rongxuan truly couldn't imagine how a girl barely over 10 could have such skills. Unless she had been trained to kill from the womb. Right, I haven't asked you yet. Who is this guy you're holding? Lin Shi pointed at Ando, who was unconscious in Lin Rongxuan's hands. His name is Ando. I call him Old Black. Old Black is very loyal. He almost died for me. I originally planned to train him to follow me. If I let him go, he'll be killed by the Qi family. Lin Rongxuan explained his relationship with Ando. In truth, they had known each other for less than a day, but Lin Rongxuan found Ando very agreeable. Lin Rongxuan suddenly asked, "In the past life, when I came to find you in the apocalypse, was I alone?" Because he didn't remember what Lin Shi had told him about the previous apocalypse, Lin Rongxuan considered it a past life. Yes, Lin Shi nodded, guessing why Lin Rongxuan asked. If Lin Rongxuan came alone, Ando must have died. Lin Rongxuan pondered for a moment and said, "I remember. I want to keep Old Black. My judgment of people is never wrong. He's worth trusting." Lin Shi scanned Old Black's arm with his mental energy and said, "If his arm isn't treated immediately, I'm afraid he won't even keep his life." Lin Rongxuan was startled. He put Ando down and removed the crude bandages he had applied last night. The wound hadn't healed at all, even though Lin Rongxuan had used a precious pill taken from a dead Qi family member. On the contrary, because of the rain last night and the wound being pressed together, the severed part of the arm was almost necrotic and the attached part was starting to rot. Infection. If not treated in time, let alone saving the arm, this black man would die. Seeing Ando's injury was this severe, Lin Rongxuan's face didn't look good. It wasn't that he didn't want to take Ando to the hospital. But even if they went, before the surgery could even start, Qi Tiaohing's people would find them. They'd die even faster. From the moment Old Black helped Lin Rongxuan hide his tracks, he had stepped onto the same path as Lin Rongxuan, with no way back. Too bad I'm still doing the morning service, Lin Rongxuan muttered a couple of times, then said helplessly, let's find somewhere to treat Old Black's wound. This arm can't be saved. We have to act fast. Lin Rongxuan decided to treat Old Black's wound himself. He had lived on the edge of life and death. Though not an expert, he was quite proficient at treating wounds. Lin Shi said, let me do it. Lin Shi stored the bodies of the Qi family members Qin Shuang had just killed into his spatial dimension. The group returned to the church. With the priest's permission, they found a relatively clean room. Lin Shi personally operated on Old Black. Last time in the apocalypse, he had operated on Lin Rongxuan and learned a vast amount of surgical knowledge, practicing on countless beast corpses. He had been guided by top experts both domestic and foreign. His skills were in no way inferior to current chief surgeons. Moreover, Lin Shi was different from ordinary surgeons. Cutting bone usually required a saw. Lin Shi's advantage in surgery lay in his strength and speed, which far exceeded ordinary doctors. With one clean cut, he handled it neatly. In his spatial storage, he also had special surgical knives prepared in advance for Lin Rongxuan's surgeries. After preparing the tools, Lin Shi didn't kick anyone out of the room. Instead, he directly raised the scalpel and severed Old Black's arm. The necrotic part fell off. The rotting flesh and infected bone were almost instantly removed. No one in the room could clearly see Lin Shi's hand speed. He quickly sutured the arteries and the wound with lightning speed. In less than 2 minutes, a surgery that could have taken hours was complete. Everyone in the room was stunned, including the priest who had lent Lin Shi the room and stayed to watch just in case something went wrong. When he saw Lin Shi pull out the scalpel, the priest panicked. Treating a wound, why are you holding a knife? Are you going to perform surgery in this environment? When he saw Lin Shi slice into the injured man's arm with one stroke, the priest almost rushed forward, but Lin Mingjin held him back. Lin Shi's lightning-fast movements completely overturned the priest's understanding. How could it not? Who had ever seen someone use a scalpel to cut like that? And the precision of the cut, it was like cutting tofu. Was he even human? Furthermore, who had ever seen a doctor operate so fast that their hands became a blur? He hadn't even gotten a clear look. The surgery was over. Qin Shuang, Lin Mingjin, and the others were witnessing Lin Shi's skills for the first time. If Lin Shi were a surgeon, how many operations could he complete alone in a day? Meanwhile, Ando was still unconscious. The moment he felt the pain and woke up, the wound had already been treated. Lin Rongxuan, who had prepared to hold Ando down, didn't even have time to react. Seeing Ando wake up and stare blankly at his amputated arm, Lin Rongxuan said sympathetically, Old Black, your wound was infected. That arm couldn't be saved. Ando's first action upon waking up was to endure the pain, get up, and kneel before Lin Rongxuan and Lin Shi. Old Black, what are you doing? Thank you. If it weren't for you two, I'd be dead for sure. Thank you. Since his arm was chopped off last night, Ando knew he'd have a hard time keeping his life. He had no money for a hospital. For a poor man like him, losing an arm meant only one outcome: death. What's more, he had offended some unpredictable people. He thought he was definitely going to die. He never expected his wound to be treated so quickly. He wasn't afraid of losing an arm. Compared to dying, his life was much more important. Get up. With a mere thought from Lin Shi, Old Black's knees automatically lifted off the ground. Those who didn't know better would think Old Black stood up by himself. But those who understood Lin Shi's abilities, including Old Black, knew it was Lin Shi using his power to lift him. Old Black looked at Lin Shi with disbelief. Just now, he only felt an invisible, incredibly strong force lifting him off the ground. Despite his limited knowledge, he knew this wasn't a normal human ability. This made Old Black's gaze toward Lin Shi even more reverent, almost worshipful. Seeing Old Black sweating cold bullets from the pain, yet still kneeling before him, and Lin Rongxuan, without a word, Lin Shi secretly nodded. His father's eye for people was as accurate as ever. If he was worth training, after finding Lin Siyuan, he could ask Lin Siyuan to help Old Black restore his arm. Of course, before finding Lin Siyuan, the issue that needed to be resolved was the shadow in Lin Rongshuan's brain. At this moment, the missionary was still very excited, having just been released by Lin Mingjin. After being untied, the first thing the missionary said to Lin Shi was, "Oh my God, did you just perform a miracle? That's unbelievable." Lin Shi smiled. If it were a miracle, I would have let his arm grow back. After cleaning up the blood and the severed arm in the room, Lin Shi and the others left the church. Lin Shi took a pill from his spatial storage and handed it to Old Black. "Eat it." Old Black didn't say a word. Without even looking at what it was, he swallowed it immediately. After eating it, Old Black was amazed to find that his body, weakened by the injury, was instantly replenished with a lot of energy. The severe pain from the wound also decreased by more than half. Having witnessed too many shocking things from Lin Shi today, Old Black didn't cry out in surprise anymore. His gaze toward Lin Shi just grew even more respectful. Getting into the SUV Lin Shi had rented, Lin Rongshuan asked, "We just took care of a few of that old dog cheese subordinates. What do we do next?" "Next, we lure them out and catch them all in one fell swoop," Lin Shi said. Half an hour later, Lin Shi and the others appeared at a Western restaurant in the suburbs. Lin Rongshuan mumbled while eating, "Is it really okay for us to just sit here and wait for the Qi family's people to show up?" Lin Mingjin smiled, reassuring Lin Rongshuan, "Don't worry, master. Everything is under control." Ever since he knew Lin Shi had returned from the apocalypse, even though he knew he was strong, Lin Mingjin hadn't truly understood his power. He had been worried, afraid Lin Shi would get hurt. But now, Lin Mingjin completely trusted Lin Shi's strength and no longer treated him like a child. Because many times, he was the one who needed taking care of. Lin Mingjin smiled bitterly. He had explained his identity to Lin Rongshuan. Lin Rongshuan vaguely remembered having subordinates, but he didn't have many memories left. However, he was still grateful to Lin Mingjin for taking care of Lin Shi all these years. Lin Rongshuan put down his chopsticks, looked seriously at Lin Mingjin, and said, "Don't call me master anymore. If you respect me, just call me big brother. My son is your son too. From now on, we're one family." "Yes, Moss. Big brother." Lin Mingjin looked at Lin Rongshuan with emotion. Old Black. Despite having an injured arm wrapped tightly in bandages, he was still eating heartily next to Lin Rongshuan. After finishing his steak, Lin Rongshuan and Lin Mingjin continued eating. Clearly, both were very hungry. Lin Rongshuan had lived in exile for years, used to hiding. He had never eaten so comfortably in a restaurant like this. He rarely got to eat decent food. Old Black was the same, always worrying about his next meal in the slums. Neither of them cared about their image. The restaurant mainly served foreigners. Seeing Lin Rongshuan and Old Black's appearance, many people showed disdain and annoyance. A well-dressed white man, looking like a senior executive, even approached the restaurant owner's table and whispered, "Boss, you should pay attention. You've got beggars coming in to eat." After saying that, he pointed his finger toward Lin Shi's table. The restaurant owner frowned as he watched Lin Rongshuan and Old Black eating like starved wolves in their ragged clothes. He had noticed this group for a while. If it weren't for Lin Shi, Lin Mingjin, and Qin Shuang being dressed decently, he would have kicked them out the moment they walked in. "Thank you for the heads up, sir." The boss smiled at the executive and offered him a glass of beer. In his mind, he was already calculating how to kick Lin Shi's group out. He had seen quite a few customers about to come in, only to turn around and leave when they saw that group. Losing several customers made the restaurant owner's face turn pale. Finally, unable to bear it anymore, he walked toward Lin Shi's table. At that moment, Lin Shi, who had been keeping quiet, suddenly spoke. Lin Mingjin and Qin Shuang immediately turned serious. Lin Rongshuan and Old Black put down their chopsticks together. Except for Lin Shi, the other four all stared out the glass window. Just a few minutes later, armored vehicles of the UK police arrived on this street. Fully armed soldiers jumped out of the vehicles. They quickly locked down the entire street. The street instantly fell into chaos. Pedestrians hurriedly scattered. The soldiers' target was very clear. They allowed locals and white people to pass, but detained all Asians and black people in sight. When the people in the restaurant realized the whole street was locked down, it was too late to leave. The panicked people quickly realized that the center of the lockdown was the very restaurant they were sitting in. The restaurant owner, who was just about to kick Lin Shi and the others out. Witnessing this scene, he ran behind the cashier counter in terror. The entire restaurant was left with only the 5 people at Lin Shi's table still sitting there, their expressions unchanged. The other diners hurriedly backed away from Lin Shi's table. Seeing the police arresting Asians and black people on the street through the glass, some people immediately fixed their eyes on the group in the restaurant. Damn it! Those Asians and that black guy must have caused some trouble. Why else would they lock down the whole street? Exactly. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I've never done anything to warrant the military showing up. Mom, I want to go home. People in the restaurant screamed in panic. Some tried to leave, but when they reached the door, they found it blocked by over a dozen soldiers. Dozens of cold guns were pointed straight at the restaurant door. The people trying to leave retreated in fear. The elite executive, who had just suggested the boss kick Lin Shi and the others out, stood up and said, "Don't be afraid, everyone. My uncle is a councilman. These soldiers will show me some respect." After saying that, he cast a disdainful glance at Lin Shi's table, adjusted his suit, and walked toward the door, raising his hands and shouting, "Hey, I'm Councilman Charlie's nephew. We're on the same side. No need to shoot. I can help you catch the criminals." The soldiers indeed didn't shoot, just looking at him coldly. The elite executive turned back, flashing a smug and arrogant smile at the other diners, then said to the soldiers, "Could you let the beautiful ladies in here out first? Look how scared they are." Right at that moment, Chi Bing arrived with a group of Chi family members. Seeing the elite executive standing at the restaurant door, Chi Bing frowned and said, "Get lost." Chi Bing had received news that Lin Rongshuan was dining at a restaurant. Thinking that the rat finally couldn't hide forever, he decided to ensure Lin Rongshuan wouldn't escape this time. Chi Bing directly contacted the armed forces of the UK capital, requesting them to lock down the area. Even though he knew these soldiers usually weren't strong enough to deal with Lin Rongshuan, as long as they could stall him for a few seconds, their deaths would be worth it. As for how Chi Bing could mobilize armed forces here, it was because the Chi family had major collaborations with the UK. They could get the local forces to cooperate with them on many things. Otherwise, how could they openly hunt Lin Rongshuan in the capital of the UK? In fact, the Chi family had major collaborations with many countries. The Chi family's influence spanned across multiple nations. Their overall strength before the apocalypse was much stronger than after. Hearing Chi Bing, an Asian, tell him to get lost, the elite executive flew into a rage. "Who the hell are you to talk to me like that? These people are Asians. Why aren't you arresting them?" The elite executive pointed right at Chi Bing's nose, arrogant. He was still waiting for the soldiers to react. He had just seen them arresting Asians and men in black everywhere. But a second later, he was tossed aside by Chi Bing like a pile of garbage. The self-proclaimed noble elite executive hit the ground, gasping for air. He didn't know that those soldiers were called in by Chi Bing. Chi Bing didn't care who he was. In the Chi family's dictionary, there was no one they couldn't touch. Right now, anyone who hindered the capture of Lin Rongshuan was an enemy. That scene sent the other people waiting at the door, who had hoped the elite executive would save them, fleeing in terror. After swatting away the obstacle, Chi Bing quickly stepped into the restaurant. Inside, Lin Rongshuan was sitting with 4 others. Chi Bing glanced at Lin Shi, Qin Shuang, Lin Mingjin, and Old Black. "No wonder you're sitting here eating so openly. Turns out you found helpers. But you didn't expect that we have helpers this time, too." Chi Bing's gaze lingered longer on Qin Shuang and Lin Mingjin. He recognized their levels. Both had recently leveled up, and the origin energy on them was still unstable. As for Lin Shi and Old Black, one ordinary person and one cripple, Chi Bing didn't even pay them any mind. 3-tier 3-gene evolvers would normally be very hard to deal with. But the current situation was different. When Chi Bing came here to catch the turtle in the jar, he had already had Luja contact Chi Jia. Let alone 3-tier 3-gene evolvers. Even if there were more, they wouldn't be a match for a tier 4-gene evolver. A man in black wearing a black cap, Chi Jia, appeared behind Chi Bing. "Stop wasting time. I don't have much time. Who is Lin Rongshuan?" Qi Bing pointed at Lin Rongxuan, whose face was still covered in sweat. That one. All right. Break his limbs, keep him alive. As for the rest, kill them all. Don't let anyone who came here leak this. The other people in the restaurant thought they could escape, but they didn't expect to be dragged into it. As soon as Qi Jia finished speaking, all the men in black rushed in, attacking the innocent bystanders. Piercing screams and panicked cries for help rang out. Lin Shi smiled faintly, watching Qi Jia approach his table. TCH. It was an old acquaintance of his. Last time, when the Qi family attacked the government base being built after the apocalypse, Qi Jia was the one who sneaked in to gather intelligence. Lin Shi had even been roommates with Qi Jia for a few days to hide his identity. Seeing the person who had once died by his hands appear again, Lin Shi exclaimed, "My hands are really itching." Seeing Lin Shi still able to smile, Qi Jia sneered. "So there's a brat who isn't afraid of death. Then I'll take you as my first prey." Die. In Qi Jia's eyes, Lin Shi was just an ordinary brat with no origin energy fluctuations at all. Therefore, he attacked without hesitation. As Qi Jia attacked, Qi Bing started to space out. Thinking that Lin Rongxuan was no longer running like a rat, and that this operation was a guaranteed success, he began calculating his return. But in the next instant, Qi Bing saw a black shadow flying toward him at an even faster speed. The sound of crashing objects and collapsing walls rang out. Shattered glass in the restaurant flew into the air. With a sharp whistling sound, the sharp glass shards shot across the small restaurant, piercing through the men in black who were about to kill. Cough, cough, cough. Qi Jia, covered in dust and blood, stood up from the rubble, staring at Lin Shi in absolute horror. "Who are you?" Qi Jia had completely lost his arrogant, aggressive demeanor. His eyes were filled with fear. His trembling hands betrayed his panic. Seeing Qi Jia knocked flying, Qi Bing panicked and hurriedly supported the staggering Qi Jia. "Elder Jia, are you okay? Get lost, you useless trash." Qi Jia shoved Qi Bing away hard. If he hadn't been severely injured, he would have punched Qi Bing in the face long ago. He had only taken the mission to escort Qi Yun to school. Catching Lin Rongxuan was just a side task. He thought dealing with a Tier 3 gene evolver would be as easy as flipping his hand. Who would have thought his subordinates couldn't even touch the guy, and he himself was nearly critically injured. On the contrary, his side was about to be wiped out. Lin Shi didn't answer Qi Jia, but turned to the terrified diners in the restaurant. "Why haven't you rolled out of here yet?" Those people were scared out of their wits. Regardless of whether the soldiers outside were pointing guns at them or not, hearing Lin Shi's words, they scattered and fled the restaurant. Qi Jia and Qi Bing naturally didn't dare to stop them. In fact, the soldiers outside had seen everything that happened in the restaurant. Lin Shi stood up straight and looked down at Qi Jia. "Who am I? Listen closely. I am the son of Lin Rongxuan and Qi Yan. My name is Lin Shi. If you two manage to survive, report back to that old dog Qi Tiaoing. He killed my mother and hunted my father. I will collect this blood debt sooner or later. Tell him to wash his neck and wait." Qi Bing, both terrified and furious, blurted out, "You're Lin Rongxuan's son? How is that possible? Didn't Lin Rongxuan's son die over a decade ago?" Lin Shi laughed out loud, a laugh mixed with bitter memories and deep hatred. "Didn't expect this, did you? My son is still alive and doing very well. The blood of the Qi family flows thick in my son's veins. The patriarch of the Qi family is his biological uncle." Lin Shi knew what the Qi family valued. After decades of endurance, he could finally mock the Qi family. Qi Bing looked at Lin Shi in disbelief. Qi Jia hadn't been involved in the events back then because he was a subordinate of Qi Tiaoyue, the current patriarch of the Qi family. Every heir in the Qi family lineage had several peers from the clan assigned to serve them from birth. These people would grow up with the heir, and their strength was also a criterion in the fight for the patriarch position later on. But Qi Bing was Qi Tiaoheng's man, and he had been present during the events back then. The ancestral rule of the hidden families was that they could not marry outsiders from beyond the four great families. People from the hidden families could absorb origin energy and unlock genes from birth. But if they married ordinary people, the children born would mostly be ordinary people with low abilities. This would dilute the bloodline of the hidden families. The secrets of the four great hidden families were protected by brainwashing clan members from a young age. If outsiders found out, the family's secrets could easily be exposed. For the prosperity of the family, the rule against marrying outsiders had existed for thousands of years in the hidden families. Furthermore, the previous patriarch of the Qi family was extremely conservative and rigid, which gave Qi Tiaoheng the opportunity to weaken and attack Qi Tiayue. That was what led to the tragedy over a decade ago. If Qi Tiaoheng knew Lin Shi was still alive and this powerful, he would definitely regret not finding Qi Yan's body back, then to tear her and the child in her womb into 8 pieces. While Qi Bing was in a daze, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his chest. Looking down, a sharp dagger had pierced his chest at some point. Elder Jia. Qi Bing looked in disbelief at Qi Jia, who was gripping the dagger tightly. He didn't understand why he was being murdered by his own side at this moment. Qi Jia whispered in Qi Bing's ear, "Only one of us can return. You're useless. If I return, I'm still useful to the master." Qi Bing's eyes widened, dying with a grievance. After killing Qi Bing, Qi Jia leaned against the wall, barely able to stand. "Do you have anything else you need me to take back to the master?" Qi Jia panted heavily. As long as he could survive, killing Qi Bing was worth it. Now that he had betrayed Qi Tiaoheng, he absolutely couldn't die here. He was the sharp knife Qi Tiaoheng used to overthrow the current patriarch of the Qi family, Qi Tiayue. He would play a crucial role at the critical moment. If he died, Qi Tiaoheng's grand plan would be affected. Therefore, Qi Jia told himself that acting a little cowardly right now was fine. When he returned to the Qi family and reported to Qi Tiaoheng, he would definitely exaggerate the Qi family's losses this time for Qi Tiayue to hear. How could Lin Shi not see the scheming in Qi Jia's eyes? He tilted his head slightly, thought for a moment, and said, "Never mind, I'll just kill you. Letting someone like you go back alive. I don't feel at ease." With that, the dagger that had just pierced Qi Bing's chest flew out with a swish and plunged into Qi Jia's chest. Qi Jia stared wide-eyed at the dagger in his chest, his face contorted with ferocity and agony. "You didn't keep your word." Leaving his final words, Qi Jia collapsed heavily to the ground. Lin Shi hadn't moved an inch from beginning to end, but the entire restaurant was bathed in blood. Those corpses silently testified to Lin Shi's power. Wiping out the Qi family's people seemed like a trivial matter to Lin Shi. He didn't even furrow his brow. He looked at Lin Rongxuan and the others and said, "Let's go." Only then did Lin Rongxuan truly realize his son's strength. The pressure in his heart vanished along with it. With such a powerful son, he no longer needed to hide, nor did he need to worry about his son not handling his affairs well. Just as his son said, all he needed to do now was get some good rest. Old Black was so overwhelmed by Lin Shi's power that he slumped to the ground, muttering reverently to Lin Shi. Seeing this, Lin Shi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Lin Shi and the other 4 left the restaurant. At the entrance of the restaurant, a group of fully armed soldiers was standing guard. Seeing Lin Shi come out, these soldiers pointed their guns at him while backing away in fear. Clearly, they had witnessed the scene in the restaurant just now. Lin Shi raised his voice slightly so all the soldiers could hear. "This is between us and the Qi family. If I were you, I wouldn't get involved." He didn't want to kill indiscriminately. Besides, he would need the support of other countries later. At this moment, a man who looked like a UK official stepped out from the ranks of soldiers and signaled them to lower their weapons. "We are very sorry, esteemed guest from Xia country. This matter is our fault." What a joke. He killed all the Qi family members. Were they supposed to stay here and wait to die? Yes, the UK had major collaborations with the Qi family, but it was just a collaboration. They weren't the Qi family's lapdogs. Everyone, dismiss on the spot and return to base. The soldiers immediately lowered their guns and left. The officer even wanted to apologize and flatter Lin Shi a bit. Obviously, seeing those arrogant Qi family members easily killed by Lin Shi made the UK consider finding a new partner. But Lin Shi rejected the flattery. He hadn't even contacted the forces of Xia country yet, so naturally, he wouldn't contact foreign forces first. Lin Shi left that street and headed straight in one direction. Lin Rongxuan, Lin Mingjin, Qin Shuang, and Old Black hurried to catch up. Lin Shi had now become their core. Whatever Lin Shi wanted to do, they didn't need to ask. Lin Shi wanting Qi Jia to send a message to Qi Tiaoheng earlier was just to scare that old man. Sending the message wasn't actually necessary. Besides, he had found a more suitable person. A few streets away from where Lin Shi was walking, on another commercial street, a boy around 14 or 15 years old, wearing expensive designer clothes, Qi Yun, was strolling aimlessly. On Qi Yun's left was Qi Wu, beautiful and a few years younger than when Lin Shi met her in the apocalypse. She held Qi Yun's arm intimately like an older sister. On his right was Qi Yi, tall, thin, and cold-faced. With Qi Yun's nonchalant aura, the three walking together looked like a rich young master out having fun, accompanied by a cold bodyguard and a beautiful woman. Qi Yun had just arrived in the UK capital today. After parting ways with Qi Jia, he brought his subordinates here to stroll around. For the next 2 years, he knew he had to finish his studies here before returning to the family to learn how to manage affairs. In truth, Qi Yun didn't want to come here at all. They called it studying at a prestigious school, but the several years' worth of curriculum would only take him a few months to finish. The step-by-step learning process was incredibly frustrating for him. But before he left, his father, Qi Tiaoyue, had told him he absolutely had to wait until he got his diploma before leaving the UK to return to the family. He said it was to temper his arrogant temper. Qi Yun was annoyed inside. Looking at the passers-by, he felt like punching them a few times. At this moment, Qi Wu said, "Young master, this looks so pretty." Qi Wu pointed at an exquisitely designed handbag in a roadside boutique. Qi Yi glanced at the expensive price tag on the bag and frowned. Before Qi Yi could scold Qi Wu, Qi Yun generously pulled a card from his wallet and handed it over. "Buy whatever you like." "Thank you, young master." Qi Wu smiled so hard her whole body shook. She took the card Qi Yun handed her and walked into the store. This was the kind of bag ordinary people wouldn't even dare dream of in their lifetimes. Qi Yun didn't wait for Qi Wu, but continued walking with Qi Yi. "Young master, master told you not to spoil Qi Wu too much." Qi Yi pondered for a moment before speaking up. As Qi Yun's subordinates, even though they were trusted aides, Qi Yi and the others were only allowed to spend a certain amount of money each month. This was to prevent them from getting used to a luxurious lifestyle and developing ulterior motives or neglecting their duty to protect their master. But Qi Wu was the only female subordinate among his trusted aides. Qi Yun had always spoiled her. "It's fine. It's just worldly possessions. Qi Yi, if you like anything, just tell me." Using the endless wealth of the Qi family's main lineage from birth to buy the loyalty of subordinates was a great bargain. Actually, it wasn't that Qi Yun specially spoiled Qi Wu, but that Qi Wu frankly told Qi Yun about her preferences. Naturally, Qi Yun had no reason to refuse. But when it came to anything involving his core interests, let alone just Qi Wu, even if all his subordinates banded together, it would be hard to make him yield. This was a management skill the main lineage of the Qi family was trained in from a young age. Despite being young, Qi Yun already understood how to weigh the pros and cons. Hearing Qi Yun say this, Qi Yi hurriedly bowed his head. "Thank you, young master. I don't desire anything." The two continued walking forward. Suddenly, Qi Yun changed his pace. "What's wrong, young master?" Qi Yi quickly looked in the direction Qi Yun was looking. A few dozen meters away, Du Luzha, dressed ordinarily, walked out of a store in the mall. He was holding a bag of bread, walking straight toward Qi Yun and Qi Yi. Qi Yun didn't stop, nor did he answer Qi Yi. He just frowned, staring intently at the person walking toward him. "Is there a problem with this person, young master?" Qi Yun still didn't answer. Only when Du Luzha walked past them did Qi Yun say, "Follow him." Qi Yi didn't quite understand, but he still followed Qi Yun. Du Luzha continued walking calmly forward with the bag of bread in his hand. Sensing someone following him, a strange smile crept onto the corner of his mouth. In his mind, memories of his past life surfaced. Qi Yun. Sure enough, it was just like in his past life. In his past life, while on a mission, Du Luzha happened to run into Qi Yun taking a stroll. At that time, Du Luzha hadn't been recorded in the Qi family genealogy. He thought his father, Qi Tiaoheng, had hidden his identity very well. He didn't expect that a young master of the Qi family would know his identity at such a young age. Qi Yun recognized him with just one glance, then followed him to a secluded place. Then, using his status as the young master of the Qi family, He took him to an abandoned farm. In his past life, knowing Qi Yun was the young master of the Qi family, Du Luzhi tried to swallow his humiliation, kneeling before Qi Yun to show his loyalty. They were clearly of the same generation and should have been equals. He was even older than Qi Yun and should have been called older brother. Yet he had to kneel before Qi Yun like that. But that humiliation was only the beginning. Qi Yun exposed his identity in front of everyone, humiliated him, and then ordered 2 subordinates to tie him up. They tortured him for 3 days and 3 nights, and finally, brutally killed him. In this life, knowing the memories of his past life, Du Luzhi was eager to take revenge on Qi Yun. Didn't Qi Yun claim to be the only legitimate son of the Qi family? If Qi Yun died, the only heir of the Qi family in this generation. In his previous life, he was wary of his identity being exposed and knew the other party was the young master of the Qi family, thinking the other party wouldn't kill him. So he endured the humiliation from Qi Yun. This time, he knew everything. Naturally, he had to strike first. He didn't believe Qi Yun could escape his killing blow when caught off guard. A flash of ruthlessness and malice appeared in Du Luzhi's eyes. He slipped into a narrow alley. "Young master, he spotted us," Qi said. He sensed the origin energy aura from Du Luzhi, along with the familiar movement techniques of the Qi family. "It's fine. Go after him." "Yes." Du Luzhi, Qi Yun, and Qi Yi chased each other through the alleys, finally stopping on a deserted narrow street. Du Luzhi lay in the middle of the road, the bread in his hand nowhere to be seen. He looked warily at Qi Yun and Qi Yi. "Who are you?" Qi Yi shouted coldly. "You're in the presence of young Master Qi. State your identity immediately." Qi Yi revealed their identity. Du Luzhi looked terrified and hurriedly approached Qi Yun, saying, "What? Young master? This subordinate is the illegitimate son of second uncle, Du Luzhi. Greetings, young master." Qi Yun stepped forward, preparing to take a closer look at the illegitimate son his second uncle had hidden for so long. Right at that moment, Du Luzhi, who was kneeling before Qi Yun, suddenly sprang up from the ground. His left hand raised a poisoned needle aiming straight for Qi Yun's heart. His right hand held a short knife, its cold blade slashing toward Qi Yun's neck. Qi Yi, who had initially stood behind Qi Yun to block Du Luzhi, was now a few meters away from Qi Yun. Seeing this scene, Qi Yi couldn't make it back in time to protect Qi Yun. He only had time to shout, "Young master, watch out." Qi Yun was startled. Though mature, he was still just a 14-year-old boy. He never expected Du Luzhi, a member of the Qi family, to feign weakness and suddenly launch a lethal attack. Moreover, the distance between them was too close. Du Luzhi had activated his gene lock, a premeditated attack against an unprepared target. In that split second, Qi Yun felt extreme danger, the most danger he had felt since the day he was born. Even though he activated his gene lock, his brain couldn't come up with any escape plan. He could only watch the poison needle thrust straight toward his chest. Qi Yi also looked horrified. If Qi Yun died here, regardless of whether they were his personal guards or not, they would all be buried with him. The outcome seemed set. Qi Yun was about to die. Du Luzhi's face turned ferocious. Right at the critical moment of life and death, 2 crisp clink-clink sounds suddenly rang out. Du Luzhi's short knife and poison needle were deflected by some force. Qi Yun seized the opportunity, retreating to put distance between himself and Du Luzhi. He successfully regrouped with Qi Yi. Qi Yi vigilantly protected Qi Yun behind him, asking with concern, "Young master, are you all right?" Qi Yun, his face pale, shook his head. No one knew that in that split second, he thought he was dead. By now, cold sweat had soaked his back. Having his lethal strike interrupted, Du Luzhi was furious. Knowing the opportunity was lost, he roared, "Who's there? Hiding like a coward, don't you dare show your face?" Hearing this, Qi Yun looked around, wanting to see who had just saved him. But the surroundings were quiet, not a single soul in sight. After Du Luzhi shouted, there was no other movement. Du Luzhi was on the verge of rage, completely unaware. Lin Shi, the one who had interrupted his fatal revenge strike, was still quite a distance away. After leaving the restaurant, Lin Shi, Lin Rongshuan, and the others initially walked straight. After walking for a while, they suddenly started taking left and right turns through the narrow streets. Lin Rongshuan couldn't help but ask, "Son, What are we doing walking in circles here? Lin Shi also wanted to know what Qi Yun was doing. After using his mental energy to pinpoint Qi Yun's location, he intended to use this opportunity to understand the post-apocalyptic Qi Yun better. Unexpectedly, Qi Yun was suddenly chasing someone else. As a result, Lin Shi saw Qi Yun chasing someone, while he himself, along with Lin Rongshuan, Lin Mingjin, and the others, was chasing Qi Yun. Lin Rongshuan and the others just followed Lin Shi in circles through the narrow streets. When he saw Du Luzhou attack, Lin Shi didn't hesitate. He controlled a small stone by the road near Qi Yun, striking and deflecting Du Luzhou's attack. I see Qi Yun. Huh. Lin Rongshuan still didn't understand what was going on. Qin Shuang, however, knew the relationship between Qi Yun and Lin Shi. Qi Yun was in danger. Lin Shi's eyes grew serious. Qin Shuang noticed immediately. You guys take your time. I'll go on ahead. With that, Lin Shi flashed and disappeared. Seeing no one around, Qi Yi's eyes turned sharp. He drew his concealed weapon and attacked Du Luzhou. Daring to assassinate young Master Qi. You must die. Qi Yi attacked like an assassin. His moves were fast, sharp, and hard to defend against. Even Lin Shi, when he first fought Qi Yi, had secretly praised his strength. But Du Luzhou, secretly trained by Qi Tiaoheng since childhood as the heir to the patriarch, his movement techniques and moves were on par with Qi Yi's. To train Du Luzhou, after nurturing him, Qi Tiaoheng even had Du Luzhou hunt down Lin Rongshuan. On one hand, to hone his practical combat skills. On the other, to keep Du Luzhou constantly living in danger. As the two fought, both were shocked by the other's strength. Qi Yi was shocked. Du Luzhou was just a member of the Qi family lineage. How could he have such formidable strength? As for Du Luzhou, he was shocked. A mere lapdog beside Qi Yun could actually fight him to a draw. Sure enough, that old dog Qi Tiaoheng was hiding something from him. But Du Luzhou had wronged Qi Tiaoheng. A person's strength doesn't just depend on the instructor's guidance, but also on their own effort and talent. Qi Yi had a talent for killing and combat that almost surpassed even Qi Yun. If it weren't for his inability to comprehend meditation, he would have long been recognized by the Qi family and become part of the main lineage. Both were Tier 2 evolvers, but Du Luzhou had unlocked his gene lock first. Seeing the time limit for his gene lock running out and still unable to take down Qi Yi, Du Luzhou used a repelling strike to attack Qi Yi, then turned and fled. The gene lock before Tier 5 had a time limit. Moreover, before Tier 3, every time the gene lock duration ended, it was accompanied by severe side effects. Therefore, for evolvers below Tier 3, the gene lock was a double-edged sword. Qi Yi took a small bottle from his pocket and drank all the medicine inside to neutralize the side effects of opening the gene lock. Then, he quickly ran toward the familiar narrow street. Qi Yun and his people weren't familiar with the roads here. Being blocked by the two of them earlier was just a deliberate setup by Du Luzhou. As long as he slipped into the winding narrow streets, he would quickly shake off Qi Yi's pursuit. Damn it, I don't know what ruined my plan. Du Luzhou cursed angrily in his mind. Whatever, there will be other opportunities. Although my intention to kill Qi Yun was exposed this time, I can also use this chance to publicly reveal my identity to the Qi family. Unless that old dog Qi Tiaoheng wants to see me killed by Qi Tiaoyue's forces. As for Qi Yun, I'll take my time finding a chance to settle the score later. Anyway, sooner or later, the Qi family will know what that old dog Qi Tiaoheng is holding on to. Thinking of this, Du Luzhou was no longer angry. Right now, he just needed to evade Qi Yi, then find Qi Bing to contact Qi Tiaoheng. He didn't know that Qi Bing was already dead as a doornail. Du Luzhou channeled all his origin energy, sprinting toward the rendezvous point Qi Bing had set for contact. For the Qi family, Qi Yi wanted to give chase, but thinking that Qi Yun currently had no one protecting him, he stopped and returned to Qi Yun's side. In his heart, he secretly blamed Qi Wu for not being here. Forget it, let him run. Qi Yun seemed to know what Qi Yi was thinking. Qi Yi asked doubtfully, "Does the young master know who that person is?" "Just an illegitimate son my second uncle raised outside. I originally planned to catch him and play around, but I didn't expect him to recognize me first." Although Qi Yun was young, he wasn't stupid at all. On the contrary, he was very smart. The more he thought about it, The more he found Du Lujia's reaction abnormal, feeling something was wrong. Contact Old Third. Tell him to thoroughly investigate Du Lujia's situation over the years. Detail every single year. I need all the information. Yes, young master. Chi Yi bowed his head to receive the order, taking out his phone to call Chi-san. Wait. Chi Yin suddenly spoke up, interrupting Chi Yi's action. What's wrong? Young master. Chi Yi was about to ask, but a second later he fell silent. Because at the end of the street, in the direction Du Lujia had fled, appeared a boy about the same age as the young master of the Chi family. He was dragging Du Lujia along like a dead dog. He smiled faintly, walking leisurely toward them. Chi Yi stepped in front of Chi Yun again, looking at Lin Shi, who was approaching step by step with Du Lujia in his hand, as if facing a formidable enemy. Chi Yi couldn't sense any origin energy fluctuations from Lin Shi, but his assassin's instinct and sixth sense told him this boy was very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. Especially since Lin Shi was holding Du Lujia, someone even he couldn't catch, and it had only been a few seconds. A dozen seconds ago. Chi Yi absolutely didn't believe this was an ordinary person. That proved this boy was powerful and terrifying. Terrifying enough to capture, or even kill, Du Lujia in the blink of an eye. Chi Yun realized this too. Chi Yi tilted his head and whispered to Chi Yun, Young master, you go first. I'll hold him off. Before he could finish his sentence, Lin Shi appeared right in front of them. His speed was like a flash of lightning, crossing over 100 meters in an instant. Chi Yun was startled. His pupils contracted. Chi Yi stiffened, not daring to move. This person's martial arts skills were profound, even above the patriarch's. If he had malicious intent, they would hardly escape today. Understanding the situation, Chi Yun relaxed and didn't plan to run. Running was useless. Why run? With this level of strength, if the other party wanted to kill him, snapping his neck would be easier than anything. Lin Shi smiled at Chi Yun. He didn't expect the 14-year-old Chi Yun to look like this. Lin Shi didn't know how to describe it. A kid trying so hard to act mature. Lin Shi's smile made Chi Yun feel terrified inside. Who are you? Chi Yun spoke first. He knew the other party was very strong and could easily kill them both. But seeing Lin Shi was about his age, Chi Yun didn't know how to address him. Lin Shi stared at Chi Yun, then tossed the unconscious Lujia in front of him. I'm the older brother you've never met. Older brother? Looking at Lujia lying sprawled on the ground, Chi Yun frowned. He felt this person was helping him, yet also teasing him. The Chi family's population was sparse in Chi Yun's generation. The patriarch, Chi Tiaoyue, only had him. In the previous generation, the old patriarch only had Chi Tiaoyue and Chi Yan. Chi Tiaoheng was originally a descendant of a branch family. Because of his good talent since childhood, he was raised and trained by the old patriarch. But in reality, Chi Tiaoheng was just a whetstone for Chi Tiaoyue. So even though Lujia was nominally Chi Yun's cousin, Chi Yun absolutely wouldn't acknowledge him. Moreover, Lujia was just an illegitimate son with no status. In Chi Yun's heart, he was just a toy. It wasn't even certain if he had the Chi family bloodline. Even if his second uncle was killed, he wouldn't dare come looking for trouble. Seeing Chi Yun's expression constantly changing, Lin Shi found it very amusing. He said, You don't believe me? Chi Yun twitched the corner of his mouth and said, My family only has me in this generation. I don't have an older brother. Why wouldn't you? You should think again. Chi Yun felt Lin Shi was messing with him. He kicked Lujia hard, unable to hold back his childish temper. I said I don't, so I don't. Does trash like Lujia even deserve to be my older brother? Chi Yun was angry. Seeing Chi Yun angry, Lin Shi stopped teasing him and his expression turned serious. My mother's name is Chi Yan. You know her, right? Chi Yun's expression changed. Information about his aunt Chi Yan immediately surfaced in his mind. Before he was born, she had passed away. He heard that the year his mother was pregnant, Aunt Chi Yan was also pregnant. For a time, she made a lot of baby items, saying they were for the nephew she had never met, which was Chi Yun. Therefore, after Chi Yun was born, he often heard the adults mention that name. Chi Yun said in disbelief, Your Aunt Chi Yan's child? His expression immediately changed. Impossible. She passed away 15 years ago. Lin Shi just kept smiling at him. My name is Lin Shi. Chi Yun's expression shifted. The surname Lin, the same surname as Lin Rongxuan. But this guy named Lin Shi looked about the same age as him, yet he was terrifyingly strong. That casual strike just now far surpassed his father, Qi Qiuyue. How could they be from the same generation? An immortal old monster would make more sense. And to use a long-dead identity to deceive him, what a massive scheme. While Qi Yun's imagination ran wild, concocting all sorts of conspiracies, Lin Rongxuan and the others finally caught up to Lin Shi. Having just heard Qin Shuang explain Qi Yun's identity, Lin Rongxuan's eyes went wide. He looked at Qi Yun, Qi Yi, and Du Lu's Hai. So, which of you three is my eldest nephew? He quickly added, the guy on the ground definitely isn't. After carefully considering their ages, his gaze finally landed on Qi Yun. You're my eldest nephew. Seeing so many people suddenly appear, Qi Yun frowned. Why is everyone trying to claim me as a relative today? Suddenly, a flash of realization hit him as he stared at Lin Rongxuan's familiar face. You're Lin Rongxuan? Lin Rongxuan blurted out. You brat, you wouldn't call your uncle by the wrong name, would you? Then he rubbed the back of his neck, muttering, TCH. What's going on? This is clearly our first time meeting. Why am I scolding him? It just felt like he had said those exact words before. They slipped out so naturally. Lin Shi's expression shifted slightly. Hearing Lin Rongxuan's words, Qi Yun was truly shocked. You really are Lin Rongxuan? Lin Rongxuan nodded. Qi Yun immediately turned to look at Lin Shi. So this guy really was his cousin. Right now, Qi Yun hadn't yet developed the ability to hide his emotions like he would in the apocalypse, so his face was an open book. Lin Shi found it highly amusing. I just came to see you this time and drop off a little gift. Also, I need you to pass a message to Qi Xiaoang. Qi Yun barely managed to digest his shock and put on a serious face. What message? Lin Shi cleared his throat. Tell that old dog Qi Xiaoang. He killed my mother and hunted down my father. I will avenge this sooner or later. Tell him to prepare to die. After saying that, he winked at Qi Yun and dropped another bombshell. Oh right, Qi Jia, who was just at the restaurant planning to ambush us with Qi Ben, has already been killed by me. Qi Yi stood to the side, his face blank, clearly terrified. You killed Qi Jia? Yep. Qi Yi was about to say something else, but Qi Yun had already composed himself and waved him off. If he's dead, he's dead. Qi Yi's eyes widened, his heart filled with absolute dread. Qi Jia's status was on par with a Qi family elder, and he just died like that? Spoken of so casually? Even the young master was indifferent. If you guys hadn't discovered Qi Jia's betrayal, when Qi Xiaohang makes his move for the family head position, he could have been the knife that stabbed your family head to death. Lin Shi said. The situation on Qi Yun's side was complicated. Lin Shi couldn't use the same approach he used with Lin Mingjin and Qin Shuang, telling him everything. He could only give Qi Yun a warning for now. Qi Yun was no fool. He understood immediately. The moment Qi Jia left, he went straight to Qi Xiaohang's people to gather forces and ambush Lin Rongxuan. Even if this action wasn't a direct betrayal of his father, it definitely meant he had a secret deal with Qi Xiaohang's faction. Because his father had stepped down and never agreed to Qi Xiaohang hunting down Lin Rongxuan, and his aunt's death back then had always been a source of pain for his father, Qi Qiuyue. Just thinking about it, if what Lin Shi said was true, if Qi Xiaohang rebelled and Qi Jia, his father's personal guard, defected, Qi Yun didn't dare imagine the consequences. After a moment of silence, Qi Yun looked at Lin Shi seriously. You seem very familiar with my family. Yeah, very familiar. In his previous life, more than half of the Qi family had died by his hands. How could he not be familiar? But since this was their first meeting, Lin Shi didn't want to say too much. You handle this yourself. See you around, little cousin. Lin Shi waved goodbye to Qi Yun, turning to leave with Lin Rongxuan and the other four. Finding Lin Rongxuan right after arriving in Italy, cleaning up Qi Xiaohang's lapdogs, and bumping into Qi Yun. This was quite a massive haul. Next up, finding little Lin Siyuan. After Lin Shi left, Qi Yi checked on Du Luzhai's condition. Young master, all four of his limbs have been broken by brute force, but he's only unconscious. He's still breathing. Qi Yun watched Lin Shi leave before focusing on Du Luzhai at his feet. Wake him up. Use whatever means necessary to make him talk. I want to know how many more of my father's people that old bastard Qi Xiaohang has turned. Yes, young master. Go find Qi Wu. Tell Chi-san to stop investigating this piece of trash du lose high and start looking into when Lin Shi appeared in Italy and what his identity is in Xia country. I need every single detail. After parting ways with Chi Yun, Lin Mingjin found a hotel and booked a single room for the 5 of them to share. Lin Siyuan was in Europe, but not in Italy. They still had to travel to a few more places to reach him. It had been a busy day, and it was already late. Lin Mingjin found a place for everyone to rest. Knowing that Lin Shi was aware of Lin Siyuan being hidden here, Lin Rongxuan felt a deep sense of guilt and self-blame. Lin Shi didn't blame him anymore. In his memories, this was all in the past. But Lin Rongxuan was currently an illegal immigrant, and Old Black's identity was also an issue. If they tried to find Lin Siyuan through normal, cross-border travel, it would take way too much time. After some thought, Lin Shi decided to pull the whole group into his spatial dimension and move on his own to speed things up. Old Black was also brought into the space. Lin Shi wanted to test his loyalty. With Lin Shi's current mental perception, no malicious intent could escape his notice. If he wanted to use Old Black, he had to make him a believer first, because the man was worth cultivating. As it turned out, Old Black had become a fanatic follower of Lin Shi. After Lin Shi explained the situation, Old Black's eyes burned with even more fervor. He looked at Lin Shi like a god. Lin Shi hadn't expected Old Black to become his very first disciple. Old Black's first reaction upon entering the spatial dimension was to drop to his knees. He called Lin Shi a walking miracle. Lin Shi was incredibly shocked by the space inside the origin beast. Ever since Old Black entered the space, an invisible, thread-like energy had seeped into Lin Shi's mind. The dark void in his brain, which was already small, shrank even further. Lin Shi was completely unaware of this change. Following Lin Rongxuan's directions, he crossed national borders and finally arrived at the place where Lin Siyuan was living. Gino catch. In the yard, little Lin Siyuan was happily playing soccer with Gino, a younger boy. Neither of them noticed the 2 strangers standing a short distance away. They had been watching them for a while. It was Lin Shi and Lin Rongxuan. Do you always just sneak over here to look at Siyuan and then leave? Even though Lin Siyuan was a mistake, Lin Rongxuan's fatherly love was still there. Hit right in the sore spot, Lin Rongxuan awkwardly scratched his head. I can't stay in one country for too long. Qi Xiaohong's people will track me down sooner or later. So I only drop by for a bit each time, just to make sure he's living well before I leave with peace of mind. Are you sure he's living well here? Is he not? Lin Rongxuan was stunned. He prided himself on being a good judge of character. He had thoroughly investigated this family beforehand. Even though they didn't have kids at the time, both had good moral character, especially the husband. Lin Rongxuan believed he hadn't misjudged them. Right at that moment, Gino failed to catch the ball. He tripped over his own feet and fell to the ground. There was a rock on the grass, and Gino's hand scraped against it, bleeding slightly. Gino immediately burst into loud tears. Lin Siyuan hurriedly ran over to comfort him. Hearing the crying, Chit rushed out of the house. Seeing the scene, Chit flew into a rage, grabbed Lin Siyuan, and threw him to the ground before kneeling to check on Gino. Lin Rongxuan frowned. Seeing her son injured, Chit grew even more furious and screamed at Lin Siyuan. What is wrong with you? Did you push your brother on purpose? Ignoring the pain in his palms, Lin Siyuan scrambled to his feet and frantically explained, I didn't push Gino. We were playing soccer, and Gino fell on his own. Then you purposely kicked the ball to make him fall. Chit let go of Gino and violently grabbed Lin Siyuan by the ear. I feed you, and you show no gratitude. You dare hurt Gino. You little bastard, get the hell out of my house. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Lin Siyuan was in so much pain that he started crying loudly too. Seeing Lin Siyuan cry, Gino ran over and pulled at Chit. Let him go. Let him go. Only then did Chit release Lin Siyuan, but she still hurled a barrage of curses at him. Watching from afar, Lin Rongxuan was so furious he wanted to charge in, but Lin Shi stopped him. Lin Shi said, this is Siyuan's actual daily life. It's not the living well you imagined. Lin Siyuan was only 4 years old and already enduring such treatment. It was hard to imagine how much worse it would get in a few years, especially when little Gino was diagnosed with a heart condition. How terrible would Lin Siyuan's situation become then? Lin Rongxuan, who only occasionally dropped by for rushed visits, was completely oblivious to all of this. He prided himself on his judgment, entrusting Lin Siyuan to this family and signing a contract with the man of the house. In reality, that man probably treated Lin Siyuan decently enough. At least, right up until the apocalypse hit, Lin Siyuan still remembered him fondly. But shit, that woman. After having her own biological son, her attitude toward Lin Siyuan became incredibly cruel. Lin Rongxuan was seething with rage. I paid them a massive amount of child support so they would treat Siyuan well. How dare they treat a little kid like this? He had spent almost all his life savings just to ensure that family would treat Lin Siyuan better. Lin Rongxuan suddenly looked at Lin Shi, his face full of anxiety. In your past life, Siyuan, when did you bring him back to your side? Lin Shi hadn't given Lin Rongxuan the full details about Lin Siyuan. When he was 10, 3 years after the apocalypse started. By the time he found Lin Siyuan, the boy had already endured unimaginable suffering for someone his age. Right up until Lin Shi reversed time, Lin Siyuan had never forgiven Lin Rongxuan. Because Lin Siyuan could never forgive his father for sending him away to live with strangers. Witnessing him being abused countless times, yet never stepping forward to claim him as his son, he would have rather gone on the run with Lin Rongxuan, sleeping in caves or sewers, than live in that so-called good place. If Lin Shi hadn't taken Lin Siyuan out of the survivor settlement, Lin Siyuan probably would have died in some desolate corner. 3 years after the apocalypse started, Lin Rongxuan muttered, repeating the words. He had heard Lin Shi talk about the apocalypse. Even though it was brief, he could already picture its sheer brutality. He didn't dare imagine how a child could struggle to survive for 3 years in the apocalypse. What had Lin Siyuan gone through during those years? Lin Rongxuan was overwhelmed with guilt and self-blame. He knew he had wronged Lin Siyuan. He had wronged his wife and Lin Shi. He was a failure of a husband and a father, allowing his 2 sons to suffer so much pain and injustice. Fortunately, Lin Siyuan was still young. The truly horrific things hadn't happened yet, so there was still time to fix it. Lin Rongxuan suddenly felt a pang of heartache for Lin Shi. His son had already forgiven him for everything he had done. But in the previous life, did he resent him? Did he even deserve to be saved by Lin Shi, let alone guided by him to make up for his past mistakes? Seeing Lin Rongxuan's eyes fill with deepening sorrow and guilt, Lin Shi spoke up, cutting off his thoughts. I'm not getting involved this time. You figure out how to bring Siyuan back yourself. Lin Rongxuan nodded firmly and strode toward Lin Siyuan. Chit had already taken Gino inside to treat the scrape on his hand, leaving poor Lin Siyuan forgotten in the yard. The child looked at the scrapes he got from being thrown to the ground by Chit, wiping away his tears. Seeing his face, Lin Rongxuan felt another wave of heartbreak. Siyuan, Lin Rongxuan called out softly. Lin Siyuan looked through the fence and saw the strange uncle standing outside the yard. The little boy sniffled and asked, "How do you know my name?" Lin Rongxuan took a deep breath. "I'm your dad. I'm here to take you home." Lin Siyuan's eyes went blank with confusion. Even at 4 years old, he knew he wasn't Chit's biological child. Everything was completely different. At kindergarten, the other kids would ask him what country he was from, and Chit constantly called him a bastard. It made him realize he had no blood relation to Chit's family. Lin Rongxuan nodded. "Yeah, I'm your dad. Look, our skin is the same color, right?" Lin Siyuan looked at himself. Then he looked at Lin Rongxuan and gave a small nod, but his face was still full of confusion. "Mom said I'm an abandoned kid. Did you lose me, and now you want to find me and take me back?" Hearing that, Lin Rongxuan's eyes reddened. He nodded vigorously. "Yes. Dad was careless and lost you. Now I'm here to take you home. You also have an older brother. He's amazing, even better than Superman. Do you want to come home with me?" Lin Siyuan's eyes lit up. His big, round, innocent eyes sparkled with hope. "I have a big brother? Then, do I get to eat chocolate cake?" Lin Siyuan asked very cautiously. "Mom said only little brothers get to eat chocolate cake. If I have a big brother, that means I'm a little brother. So I get to eat chocolate cake too, right?" Lin Rongxuan's fists clenched tight. He had paid so much money for child support, yet his own son wasn't even allowed a single slice of chocolate cake. Seeing the expectant look in Lin Siyuan's eyes, he quickly nodded. "Yes, you get to eat chocolate cake. Not just chocolate cake. Whatever you want, As long as I can give it to you, it's yours. Tears as big as beans rolled down Lin Siyuan's cheeks. He hurriedly wiped them away, walked up to the fence, and reached out his little hands. Lin Rongshuan grabbed his hands, lifted him up, and pulled him into a tight embrace. Feeling that blood connection, both father and son felt an overwhelming sense of comfort and closeness. Just as Lin Rongshuan was about to say something, Chit, having finished treating Gino's wound and remembering that Lin Siyuan hadn't come inside, stepped out of the house. She saw a scruffy-looking man hugging Lin Siyuan in the yard. Thinking it was a human trafficker, she screamed, "What are you doing? Put my kid down, or I'm calling the cops." Feeling Lin Siyuan tremble in his arms at Chit's scream, Lin Rongshuan finally couldn't hold back his rage. He vaulted over the fence and marched toward Chit. "Take a good look at who I am." Only then did Chit realize the man in front of her looked familiar. She looked at Lin Siyuan in Lin Rongshuan's arms, then back at Lin Rongshuan, and it finally clicked. "It's you." Lin Rongshuan desperately wanted to beat the living daylights out of her, but right then, Gino walked out of the house. He tugged at Chit's skirt and asked, "Mom, who is this man?" "Gino, that's my dad. I have a dad too now." Lin Siyuan squirmed in Lin Rongshuan's arms and jumped down. He said happily, "That's awesome, big brother." The joy of children was simple and pure. Gino was genuinely happy that Lin Siyuan had found his dad, but Chit's face looked absolutely awful. "Didn't you say you were giving him to us and wouldn't come looking for him until he was an adult?" "Yeah. If I knew he was living well, I really wouldn't have come looking." "But how have you been treating my son?" Lin Rongshuan glared at the woman who had been abusing his child. The look in Lin Rongshuan's eyes, a man who had killed countless assassins over the years, carried a murderous aura thicker than a serial killer's. It nearly made Chit pee her pants in terror. "I didn't." Chit frantically waved her hands, trying to deny it. Lin Rongshuan didn't want to hear another word of her nonsense. "I'm here to take Siyuan. Our agreement is null and void." "No," she vehemently protested. "You can't. That wasn't the agreement between us." Lin Rongshuan had used multiple brokers to pay child support to Chit's family every year. Thanks to that massive sum of money, Chit's family lived a very comfortable life. They had even bought a car, and Chit was planning to upgrade to a bigger house in a few years. There was no way she was willing to lose this source of income. "I'm not negotiating with you. I'm informing you." Because the kids were there, Lin Rongshuan didn't strike the woman, but that was his absolute limit. Right at that moment, Lin Rongshuan smelled something burning. He looked past Chit, into the house. Chit quickly smelled it too. She rushed inside. Without anyone noticing, a fire had started in the house. Since the furniture was mostly wood and there was a fabric sofa, the flames spread rapidly. Chit stood frozen. "Fire. It's a fire." She tried to put it out, but was completely helpless. Only then did she remember to save her valuables, frantically sprinting into her bedroom. Little Gino followed her into the room, but Chit completely ignored him. Lin Rongshuan had to scoop Gino up with one arm, carry him out to the yard, and then pick up Lin Siyuan. The fire was raging fiercely. Lin Rongshuan carried the two kids over to the house across the street. Lin Shi suddenly appeared beside Lin Rongshuan and took Lin Siyuan from him. "Hey there, kiddo. I'm your big brother. My name is Lin Shi." Lin Siyuan stared at Lin Shi with wide eyes, his little eyes sparkling like stars. "Yeah. Here, have some candy." Lin Shi flicked his wrist, pulling a chocolate lollipop from his spatial dimension, and handed it to Lin Siyuan. To Lin Siyuan, it looked like magic. He took the candy and said sweetly, "Thank you, big brother." Chit's house burned incredibly fast. It didn't take long for the neighbors to notice. Chit's agonizing screams echoed from inside, but the fire was too massive for anyone to go in and save her. Someone immediately called the fire department, and Chit's husband rushed back from work. When the firefighters finally put it out, everyone could only watch in pity as a body was carried out of the house. By this time, Lin Shi had already left with Lin Rongshuan and Lin Siyuan, leaving only a crying Gino to be found by the neighbors. The fire wasn't started by Lin Shi. It was because Chit had forgotten to turn off the iron when she ran out to scream at Lin Siyuan. Then, she got caught up arguing with Lin Rongshuan and completely forgot about it, leading to the house fire. Lin Shi had merely used his ability to make the curtains fall onto the burning iron. If Chit hadn't run back in to save her valuables, she would have only lost some money. But this greedy, wicked woman ultimately brought about her own doom. For the rest of the day, Lin Rongxuan, Lin Shi, and Lin Siyuan had a great time playing at the park. Taking a kid out to play was the best way to strengthen the bond between father and son. That evening, Lin Rongxuan bought the biggest chocolate cake at the bakery for Lin Siyuan. Seeing that Lin Siyuan no longer had that confused, anxious look, Lin Shi smiled knowingly. Afterward, Lin Shi used the same method to return to Italy, then brought Lin Mingjin and Qin Shuang out of his spatial dimension. The three of them flew back to Xia country. They briefly crossed paths with the second wave of assassins sent by Shin Fanren. They had left as 3, but returned as 6. Back in High City, Lu Siyue still hadn't returned, but no one paid her any mind. 6 people sharing one house was a bit cramped. Lin Mingjin let Lin Shi, Lin Rongxuan, and Lin Siyuan stay in the old place, while he, Old Black, and Qin Shuang rented a house in the suburbs. But this wasn't a long-term solution. Splitting up was inconvenient for their upcoming plans. So, after returning to High City, Lin Shi went to the Qingxin pawn shop he had visited before. The old sign was the same, the shop was the same, but his state of mind was completely different. The last time he came, he was cautious about every little thing. This time, Lin Shi had no fear. He swept his mental perception around the pawn shop before stepping inside. Hearing the door, the younger Xie Jinxin walked out from the back. Seeing a 15 or 16-year-old boy walk in, he frowned and said, "Kid, this is a place for adults. I don't do business with children. Run along now." Lin Shi ignored him and slammed a backpack full of gold bars onto the counter right in front of Xie Jinxin. The heavy thud made Xie Jinxin jump. Before he could say a word, Lin Shi unzipped the bag, revealing the pile of gold inside. "Exchange this for cash. Or a villa in High City." Xie Jinxin's eyes widened, his jaw dropping. He stared blankly at the gold bars. Lin Shi had brought out at least 100 kilos of gold. Even if the market value wasn't quite 100 million, it was damn close. Wealth changes people. This was more gold than Xie Jinxin had hoarded in all his years of business. His hand subconsciously reached under the counter. There was a hidden compartment there holding a weapon Xie Jinxin kept for self-defense. But a chilling gaze snapped him back to reality. Xie Jinxin looked up, meeting Lin Shi's half-smiling eyes. What kind of look was that? It clearly carried a smile, yet there wasn't a shred of warmth in it. In those eyes, it felt as if the life and death of all things rested entirely on his whim. In this line of work, you had to know how to read people. You had to know who you could exploit and who you absolutely could not afford to offend. The teenager in front of him, who looked barely out of middle school, made Xie Jinxin feel like he was staring down a vicious dragon. Cold sweat uncontrollably rolled down his forehead. Xie Jinxin didn't dare move a muscle, slowly pulling his hand away from under the counter. Seeing Xie Jinxin calm down, Lin Shi retracted the oppressive aura radiating from him. "You want to trade this gold for a villa?" Xie Jinxin's voice was hoarse. "Yeah. The location doesn't have to be great, as long as it's spacious. Preferably with a perimeter wall. Of course, you can also just help me convert it to cash." Lin Shi pushed the pile of gold towards Xie Jinxin. "Converting it to cash, that's a massive amount. I'm afraid I can't liquidate it all on short notice. Plus, my service fees are lower than the pawn shops outside." At this point, Xie Jinxin glanced at Lin Shi. Confirming he didn't look annoyed, he continued, "If you trade it directly for real estate, it'll be much faster. But I need to contact a buyer first. However, this amount of gold might still be a bit short for a villa in High City. As for the cash, how do you want me to pay you? I can contact an anonymous buyer with an offshore account for a direct one-to-one transaction." Xie Jinxin explained his transaction rules. As for the service fee, he usually either took the price difference or charged at least a 1% commission. But the sheer size of Lin Shi's transaction made him hesitate to bring up the fee. Lin Shi maintained a calm expression. After hearing Xie Jinxin out, he said, "This is just the deposit. If the deal goes through, I'll pay you 1 million in gold as your commission." Xie Jinxin's eyes lit up. Hearing Lin Shi generously offer 1 million as a service fee, he agreed immediately. "What's your maximum budget for the villa?" "I have as much as you need. Just find the place." Lin Shi tossed a 10-kilo gold bar onto the counter. "This is the deposit. Contact me when you find a suitable place." Lin Shi left his contact info, took the rest of the gold, and walked out of the pawn shop. He headed to a secluded corner with no surveillance cameras. He stored the gold back into his spatial dimension. Even before using the universe reversal, Lin Shi had discussed it with Lin Tianshui. All the valuables in the base were kept in Lin Shi's storage, including all the precious metals they had scavenged since the apocalypse began. This amount of gold was nothing to him. When he got home, Lin Shi found a dead body in the house. Lin Rongshuan was in the living room, trying to figure out how to dispose of the corpse, while Lin Siyuan was locked in the bedroom. What happened? Hearing the door open, Lin Rongshuan reacted as if facing a deadly enemy. Seeing it was Lin Shi, he breathed a sigh of relief. I don't know. This guy suddenly dropped in from the balcony. I'm guessing he climbed up from the floor below or dropped down from above. Lin Rongshuan was trying to verify the man's identity. Lin Shi took one look and confirmed it. It's an assassin sent by Xin Fanren. Who's Xin Fanren? Lin Rongshuan was clueless. Lin Shi explained the messy history between Lin Mingjin, Lu Siyue, and the Shun Corporation. He dares touch my people? Unforgivable. I'll handle him. Lin Rongshuan rolled up his sleeves, looking ready to slaughter the man's entire family. Lin Shi absorbed the bloodstains on the floor into his spatial dimension and nodded. We need to clean this up. We have Siyuan here now. He's a 4-year-old kid. We can't let a dead body scare him. Dad, do you have a way to forge identities? Make fake IDs for me, Siyuan, and Old Black. My adoptive father and I will handle this. He thought Xin Fanren would send more people, but he didn't expect him to be this cautious. Looks like they had to take the initiative and strike first. On the top floor of the Shun Corporation building, Xin Fanren suddenly sneezed. Wang Ji quickly draped a suit jacket over his shoulders, but Xin Fanren waved him off. How many people did you send this time? Just one, but I sent the strongest assassin in the organization. It's guaranteed to succeed this time. Xin Fanren looked at Wang Ji with a stern expression. Wang Ji immediately dropped to one knee. Boss, this subordinate will definitely complete the mission this time. Killing someone isn't hard. The hard part is covering it up. Last time at the airport, they thought it was a surefire mission. Who would have expected that the 3 men assigned to the private jet would be wiped out before they even boarded? After that, they sent a few people to track them to Italy, but Lin Shi had already pulled everyone into his spatial dimension and moved to another country. After days of searching in Italy, they couldn't find a single trace of Lin Mingjin. This time, Wang Ji sent his best assassin, someone as strong as his own Tier 2 gene lock. In Wang Ji's eyes, success was guaranteed this time, unless Lin Mingjin somehow got lucky and ran into an invincible opponent. He had no idea that the assassin he placed absolute trust in had already become just another corpse in Lin Shi's spatial dimension. Xin Fanren knew exactly how powerful his forces were. As long as he didn't clash with the national military or those hidden, ancient families, the number of people who could threaten him in High City, or even all of Xia country and Central Asia, could be counted on one hand. However, Xin Fanren didn't realize he had just offended someone that even the entire nation had to be wary of. Seeing Xin Fanren remain silent, Wang Ji changed the subject. Boss, the guards watching Lu Siyue reported in this morning. They said she has an important secret regarding Lin Mingjin that she wants to tell you. The moment Lu Siyue stepped off the plane, Xin Fanren's men had taken her to a suburban villa not registered under his name. After that, all of Lu Siyue's communication devices were confiscated. She was locked up and interrogated about whether she had colluded with Lin Mingjin to sabotage the Xin family. Lu Siyue naturally denied it. She hadn't done anything. Xin Fanren hadn't visited her in a long time. Living in constant fear every day, she finally couldn't take it anymore and decided to reveal her life-saving secret from her past life in the apocalypse. Xin Fanren didn't actually want Lu Siyue dead. Standing at the pinnacle of wealth in Xia country and accustomed to a life of extreme luxury, Xin Fanren was currently only interested in two things: expanding his power and indulging in women. Although he had many wives, very few suited his tastes as perfectly as Lu Siyue. Hearing the news about her, Xin Fanren's expression softened from its previous sternness. He stood up and said, "What did that woman say?" Since Lin Mingjin hadn't looked for Lu Siyue or paid any attention to her lately, Xin Fanren's suspicions about her had lessened somewhat. She said she wants to meet you and talk in person. Xin Fanren sneered, wondering what kind of game this woman was trying to play with him now. He stood up. Let's go. Yes, sir. The two headed downstairs. A bodyguard drove the car, with Wang Ji in the passenger seat. There was a lead car in front and an escort car behind them. When the chairman of the Tiankai New Energy Corporation traveled, not only were all the vehicles custom-built to be bulletproof and riot-proof, but he was also escorted by over a dozen elite bodyguards. Today was no exception. With this level of security, under normal circumstances, it would be nearly impossible for even the world's top assassins to get close. After all, Shin Fanren used to be an assassin overseas, so he knew exactly how to prevent assassinations. It was just a pity that Shin Fanren didn't know there were some people he simply couldn't protect himself against, no matter how heavily he guarded himself. Having decided to eliminate Shin Fanren, Lin Shi immediately took action. Leaving the house, he contacted Lin Mingjin. The two met up, and shortly after, Lin Shi used his mental perception to lock onto Shin Fanren's location. He and Lin Mingjin tailed Shin Fanren's convoy from a distance. This was High City, not the apocalypse. It wouldn't be good to cause too much of a commotion while taking out Shin Fanren. It wasn't that Lin Mingjin hesitated to kill Shin Fanren, but Shin Fanren was a high-profile figure. If they killed him publicly, Lin Mingjin worried it would cause unnecessary trouble for Lin Shi. No need to get your hands dirty. Lin Shi understood Lin Mingjin's concerns. With his abilities, he could kill without lifting a finger, leaving absolutely no trace behind. Lin Shi didn't let Lin Mingjin tail Shin Fanren's convoy too closely. Instead, they maintained a distance of a few kilometers. After tracking them to a certain point, Lin Shi signaled to stop. The route to Lu Ciu's villa required passing through a mountainous road. The mountain road was quite wide and had guardrails along the edge, so accidents rarely happened. Shin Fanren's driver was highly skilled, maintaining a steady speed as they drove up the mountain. There were other cars traveling on the same road. Seeing a convoy of luxury cars ahead, the vehicles behind didn't dare overtake them, choosing to follow from a distance. Someone even recognized Shin Fanren's custom vehicle and license plate. After all, Shin Fanren was one of the most famous figures in High City. Among the cars behind them, a husband driving with his wife suddenly said, "Honey, look, that car up ahead looks like it belongs to the richest man in our city. That's a really expensive car. Don't get too close. Let's just follow behind. Don't try to pass them. If we hit them, our insurance won't even cover a fraction of it. Don't worry, I wouldn't dare pass them. If we scratch that thing, selling our car wouldn't even cover the damages." Huh. The couple continued to follow Shin Fanren's convoy from a distance, chatting and laughing. Everything seemed perfectly normal. But just as Shin Fanren's convoy reached the top of the hill and prepared to head downhill, the lead car suddenly lost control. It accelerated, smashing straight through the guardrail and plunging off the cliff. The sudden accident happened so fast that no one had time to react. What the hell is going on? Shin Fanren screamed in terror. While everyone was still in shock, trying to figure out what happened to the lead car, Shin Fanren's car suddenly accelerated as well. It barreled toward the guardrail. The driver used all his strength to grip the steering wheel, but it completely refused to obey, as if it had a mind of its own, forcefully jerking toward the edge of the cliff. At the same time, an invisible force slammed down on the gas pedal. Even with his gene lock activated, the driver couldn't regain control of the vehicle. The driver could only scream in panic. "Boss, I've lost control of the car." Before the four people inside could even react, the moment the driver finished speaking, the car plunged straight off the cliff. Wang Ji only had enough time to buckle Shin Fanren's seatbelt before an intense feeling of weightlessness hit them. The entire car plummeted down the mountainside. Don't panic. Hold on to the handles. Even faced with imminent death and the violent sensation of freefall, Wang Ji, a Tier 2 evolver, managed to stay clear-headed and react in time. He knew Shin Fanren's car had incredibly high safety ratings, practically on par with an armored vehicle. As long as they weren't thrown from the car, their chances of survival were very high. Amidst the violent tumbling, Wang Ji gritted his teeth, tightened his seatbelt, and simultaneously activated his gene lock. His brain processed everything at lightning speed. The car was falling from a cliff dozens of meters high. The hardest impact would be when the car slammed into the mountainside. The massive force would shatter the windshield first, and they would be cut by flying glass, but those injuries wouldn't be fatal. The real danger was the tree branches that could pierce through the windows. Therefore, after securing his seatbelt, Wang Ji immediately used his arms to shield his and Shun Fanren's heads, pressing them tightly against the back seat. As long as the car wasn't crushed to pieces, they would survive. Shin Fanren, also a Tier 1 evolver, instinctively activated his gene lock. Seeing Wang Ji handle the situation so calmly, his eyes filled with approval. After surviving this crisis, Wang Ji's status would definitely rise, being able to stay calm in the face of danger and protect his boss. This was absolutely worthy of trust and promotion. Wang Ji noticed Shin Fanren's gaze, a flash of smugness appearing in his eyes. He knew he had made the right move. Their eyes met for only a split second. The three cars crashing down the mountainside created a deafening roar, terrifying the other drivers on the mountain road. About 100 meters behind Shin Fanren's convoy, the couple driving the car witnessed the three luxury vehicles they had just been admiring, which had been driving normally, suddenly plunged straight off the cliff. The husband slammed on the brakes in shock, while his wife screamed in terror. They fell off. After a moment of stunned silence, the husband finally spoke. "Yeah, call the police right now. I'll go check it out." He stopped the car, opened the door, and ran toward the spot where the three luxury cars had gone over the edge. His wife immediately dialed emergency services. Reaching the broken guardrail, the husband looked down the cliff. The cars had tumbled down like fireballs. Falling from such a height, it was a miracle that one of the cars still had its basic frame intact and wasn't completely crushed. But the other two cars were practically smashed to pieces. There were even a few bodies that had been thrown out because they hadn't buckled their seatbelts in time. Even from a distance, the gruesome scene at the bottom of the cliff was clear. Looking at the scattered wreckage, the husband couldn't imagine anyone surviving that. Knowing those were the cars of the city's richest man, more and more people stopped to look. Even when the rescue teams arrived, they refused to leave. Everyone wanted to know, falling from such a high cliff, could those wealthy people actually survive? Many curious onlookers who loved a spectacle waited from morning until dusk, finally watching the rescue teams bring the bodies up from the ravine. The result, there were no survivors. Not long after, the news that the chairman of the Tiankai New Energy Corporation had died in a car crash spread throughout High City. The next day, the news swept across all of Xia country. Countless people mourned his passing. At the same time, some eyewitnesses suggested that it might have been a premeditated murder. They speculated that the driver had been bribed to drive off the cliff. However, Lin Shi couldn't care less about any of that. He had already left the scene, moving more than 2 kilometers away the moment Shin Fanren met his end. That's right, this accident was orchestrated by Lin Shi. Using his telekinesis, Lin Shi forced Shin Fanren's car off the cliff. Standing 2 kilometers away from the scene, there was absolutely no way anyone could link Shin Fanren's death to Lin Shi or Lin Mingjin. He had truly pulled it off without a soul knowing. Meanwhile, Lin Mingjin was completely bewildered. He had just been driving according to Lin Shi's directions and hadn't even caught a glimpse of Shin Fanren. He only heard Lin Shi say, "It's done." He desperately wanted to ask how Lin Shi had dealt with Shin Fanren, but this obviously wasn't the place to talk. It wasn't until they returned to their base that Lin Shi explained the process of killing Shin Fanren to Lin Mingjin. While Shin Fanren's car was plummeting down the cliff, he initially still had a chance to survive. But Lin Shi deliberately manipulated the sharp objects inside the car to finish him off. Therefore, no matter how much they braced themselves, it was useless. As for the people in the other 2 cars, Lin Shi hadn't intentionally targeted them. However, aside from Shin Fanren's custom vehicle, the other 2 were just standard cars. Falling from that height, survival was basically impossible. Even Tier 1 evolvers were ultimately still made of flesh and blood. Hearing Lin Shi describe this invisible method of killing, Lin Mingjin was incredibly excited. If he or Lin Rongxuan had possessed this kind of power back then, maybe everything would have been different. With Lin Shi's current abilities, killing Shin Fanren was child's play. As for the rest of the Shun family's forces, Lin Shi couldn't be bothered to deal with them one by one. If Shin Jinbin was smart enough, he'd be too busy handling the fallout to pay any attention to Lin Mingjin. A week later, Lin Shi received a message from Xie Jinxin. It said he had found a buyer and told Lin Shi to come to a designated location for the transaction. This time, Lin Shi directly brought out a metal case containing thousands of kilograms of gold. Xie Jinxin arranged to meet at a rustic restaurant in the suburbs. When Lin Shi arrived, Xie Jinxin and the buyer were already there. It was daytime, and the restaurant had no other customers, likely an intentional arrangement. Lin Shi walked into the restaurant. The electronic door chime rang out with a welcome. A burly man wearing an apron walked out to greet him with a bright smile. "Customer, we don't have all our ingredients prepped during the day. Please come back tonight for dinner. I'm here to drink tea." Lin Shi recognized this man. Back when Xie Jinxin delivered the fuel to Lin Shi, this guy had come along. If he remembered correctly, his name or nickname was Abu. In reality, Abu was Xie Jinxin's helper and partner. This restaurant was co-funded by Xie Jinxin and Abu. The two of them, one running a pawn shop, the other a restaurant, supported each other and occasionally took on jobs together. The buyer this time was contacted by Abu. Hearing Lin Shi say the secret transaction code at the door, Abu was slightly stunned. Only the buyer knew the drink tea code. That meant this young man, who looked like an ordinary student, was the buyer willing to drop a massive fortune on a manor. Even though Xie Jinxin had told Abu beforehand that the buyer was very young, Abu had never met him. He figured young men around 18. But the guy standing in front of him, Abu had heard the buyer was going to pay 10 billion in gold up front for this transaction. Could a teenager really pull this off on his own? Was Xie Jinxin getting scammed? Looking at Lin Shi's youthful face, Abu already felt this deal was sketchy. However, he didn't show it on his face. He gestured for Lin Shi to head upstairs. "Please, come in. Right this way."